Imagine drifting off to sleep in the heart of Kalos, where the air hums with ancient secrets and the stars above Lumios City whisper tales of power beyond imagination. Picture this: towering spires of Prism Tower piercing the twilight sky, their lights pulsing like a heartbeat, casting long shadows over cobblestone streets, alive with the soft glow of street lamps and the distant calls of nocturnal Pokémon. The region of Kalos isn't just a land of beauty and elegance. It's a cradle of cataclysm, a place where the very fabric of the Pokémon world was torn open and reforged in the fires of unprecedented evolution. Welcome to how Kalos Mega Evolution Era changed everything, lore for sleep. I'm your guide through this 3-hour odyssey into the deepest lore of the Pokémon universe, designed to lull you into the sweetest dreams while unraveling the mysteries that reshaped everything we know about trainers, battles, and the bonds between humans and Pokémon. If you're a long-time fan who's ever wondered why Kalos feels so different, so profoundly transformative, settle in, dim the lights, and let my voice carry you back to that pivotal era. This isn't just history, it's the turning point that redefined power, destiny, and the soul of Pokémon itself. Let's begin at the dawn, not of Kalos, but of its shadowed origins. 3,000 years ago, long before the first Pokeball clicked shut or the first gym badge gleamed, Kalos was a kingdom locked in a war so devastating it threatened to erase the world. At its centre stood King AZ, a ruler whose grief birthed horrors we still feel echoes of today. His beloved Floette fell in battle, a tiny Pokémon whose light was snuffed out amid the chaos. Driven mad by loss, AZ forged the ultimate weapon, a colossal machine fueled by the life force of countless Pokémon, capable of resetting life itself. He fired it twice, once to save his kingdom, and again in vengeance, scorching the earth and birthing the wastelands that dot Kalos even now. But from those ashes rose something miraculous. AZ, in his endless tinkering, discovered a key embedded in the heart of his weapon, a stone pulsing with infinite potential. This was no ordinary relic. It was the first Mega Stone, forged from the condensed essence of Pokémon life energy harvested during the war. When AZ reunited with his revived Floette, the stone reacted, triggering the first Mega Evolution, a burst of light that transformed his partner into a form of unparalleled grace and power, wings unfurling like eternal flowers in bloom. Mega Floette wasn't just stronger, it was a symbol of unbreakable bonds transcending death itself. Yet AZ, haunted by his sins, vanished into legend, sealing away this power, or so the world thought. Fast forward to the modern era. Kalos blooms anew, a region of pristine lakes mirroring the sky, rolling vineyards under perpetual golden sunsets, and wildflowers carpeting the earth in every hue. Trainers flock here, drawn by the allure of its 8 gyms, from the icy caverns of Lumios City to the fiery forges of Lavaire. But beneath the surface simmers unrest. Professor Sycamore, the region's brilliant mind in Lumios' bustling lab, pores over ancient texts and fragmented stones. He senses a shift coming, a resurgence of that lost power. And he's right. Enter the Mega Evolution Era, a seismic event that exploded onto the scene during the 6th generation, shattering the rules of Pokémon battles forever. It wasn't just a mechanic, it was a revolution. Suddenly, bonds between trainers and Pokémon could unlock hidden potential, Mega Stones awakening dormant forms that eclipsed even legendaries in raw spectacle. Charizard roaring into the sky with a blazing Mega Charizard X, blue flames licking its wings as it claims aerial supremacy. Blaziken erupting into a primal berserker, blades extending like scythes of judgment. Venusaur's petals blooming into a fortress of toxic thorns, Gardevoir's elegance twisting into a psychic goddess, shielding her trainer with ethereal arms. Why did this change everything? Because Mega Evolution wasn't about brute strength alone. It demanded trust, synergy, a keystone attuned to the trainer's heart, and a Mega Stone resonating with the Pokémon soul. Professor Sycamore called it the ultimate expression of the bond between people and Pokémon. In Kalos, every gym leader wielded one, every rival chased the thrill, and the champion himself, Diantha, stood as the pinnacle, a living testament to Mega Gardevoir's otherworldly poise. Battles transformed from tactical chess matches into symphonies of light and emotion, where a single Mega Evolution could turn the tide, rewriting strategies worldwide. But the stakes were far higher than any league tournament. Lurking in the opulent shadows of Lysandre Café was Team Flair, led by the charismatic visionary Lysandre. A man of wealth, beauty, and ruthless ambition, he saw Kalos' perfection as fleeting, doomed by human greed and overpopulation. His plan? Revive AZ's ultimate weapon using the life energy of every Pokémon in existence, stored in the roots of the ultimate tree, the life Pokémon, Xerneas. Lysandre believed beauty should be eternal, preserved for the elite, even if it meant sacrificing the world. And Mega Evolution was his key. He coveted the stones, seeking to monopolize their power, twisting AZ's legacy into a tool for apocalypse. As the era unfolded, whispers of legendaries stirred. Evil Tull, the destruction Pokémon, hung like a crimson shroud over Kalos, its wings promising entropy. Xerneas, radiant deer of life, bounded through ancient forests, clashing with its dark counterpart in a cycle as old as time. AZ himself returned, a wandering immortal cloaked in mystery, his giant Floette at his side, confronting the sins of his past. Diantha's films hid deeper truths. Gym leaders like Ramos and Valerie guarded secrets in plain sight, and even Sycamore's own Mega Evolutions, Venusaur and Charizard, became beacons in the gathering storm. This era didn't just change battles, it redefined lore. Mega Evolutions peeled back layers of Pokémon history, revealing primal connections to legendaries. Lucario's aura surged into Mega Lucario, channeling the essence of Mewtwo's creators. Garchomp's savagery amplified, echoing the ferocity of Rayquaza. Over 48 Mega forms debuted, each with unique abilities. Aurora Veil from Mega Glalie, Shadow Tag from Mega Pinsir, disrupting the meta and forcing evolution in competitive play. But beyond the screen, it humanized Pokémon. Stories of loss, redemption, and unbreakable ties flooded fan lore, inspiring art, theories, and endless debates. Yet for all its glory, the Mega era was ephemeral. It peaked in Kalos, then faded as new powers rose. Z moves in Alola, Dynamax in Gala, Terastallization in Paldea. Why? Some say AZ's curse lingered, binding the stones to Kalos alone. Others whisper of cosmic balance, that such power invites destruction. Kalos remains the only region where Megas freely roam wild, stones scattered like forgotten jewels in Geosenge Town's ruins or atop Victory Road's peaks. Tonight, we'll journey through it all. The origins unearthed in Reflection Cave, the Gym Gauntlet forging heroes, Team Flair's insidious rise, the climactic clash at the Kalos League, and the ultimate showdown in Lumios's heart. We'll explore AZ's full tragedy, the hidden roles of fairies and their type advantage revolution, the philosophical underpinnings Sycamore preached, and how this era's echoes ripple into every game since. Feel the mist of Lake Lumina, hear the clash of steel in Sillage Gym, taste the tension in Lysandre's gilded halls. This is more than recap, it's resurrection, breathing life into lore so you can dream of your own mega moment. Whether you're battling insomnia or craving deep Pokémon immersion, let this narrative wash over you like a gentle surf from a loyal Swampert. Close your eyes, breathe deep, and as the first Mega Light fades into your subconscious, know that Kalos didn't just change everything, it awakened the infinite possibilities within us all. Ready to evolve? Let's begin. Now settle deeper as we step into the shadows of history, where the first stones were born amid screams of war and cries of loss. Whispers from ancient Kalos wasn't always the paradise of blooming fields and sun-kissed vineyards you know today. 3,000 years ago, this region was a battlefield where armies clashed in a war so devastating it nearly erased Pokémon and humans from existence. You can almost hear the echoes of those clashes in the wind rustling through the tall grasses of Route 4, can't you? That serene path between Lumiose and Chaleur City hides more than wild Pokémon. It's a scar from an ancient conflict that birthed the very powers we're exploring tonight. Think about it. You've wandered those routes in your games, battling trainers under clear blue skies, picking berries from bushes heavy with fruit. The air smells of fresh dew and wildflowers. The rivers sparkle like veins of liquid silver, winding through emerald valleys. Levere City feels like a fairy tale, with its ghostly woods and ethereal glow at dusk. But peel back that beauty, and you'll find ruins etched into the cliffs of Gyosenge Town, craters disguised as natural formations in the glittering cave. These aren't just scenic backdrops, they're grave markers for a cataclysm that reshaped the world. What drove that war? Resources, territory, pride, the usual suspects that ignite human folly. But in Kalos it escalated beyond swords and arrows. Humans turned their Pokémon companions into weapons of mass destruction. Pikachu thundered across plains with electric barrages that scorched the earth black. Charizard rained fire from the heavens, turning forests to ash. Garchomp tore through ranks like living earthquakes. The skies darkened with the roars of legendaries pulled into the fray, their energies clashing in storms that lasted weeks. Casualties mounted on both sides until the land itself seemed to weep. You might wonder, how does a region recover from such horror? Kalos did, but not without leaving whispers in its soil. Those lush landscapes you admire, they're a deliberate rebirth cultivated over centuries to heal the wounds. Parfum Palace stands as a testament, its gardens meticulously pruned to symbolize renewal. Yet venture off the beaten path, and the war-torn past reveals itself. In the Frost Cavern, ice-encased fossils whisper of beasts frozen mid-battle. The Terminus Cave hides chambers, where echoes of explosions still reverberate if you listen closely after dark. Even the Pokémon League's peak overlooks valleys that were once trenches filled with the fallen. This hidden history sets the stage for the figure at its heart. King Azer. His name alone carries the weight of eternity. Born into royalty during that doomed era, Az ruled a kingdom that spanned what we now call Central Kalos. Tall, regal, with eyes that pierced like steel, he was a warrior king who loved his Pokémon fiercely. His ace, a majestic Floette, was more than a partner. It was his soul's mirror, a tiny bloom of hope amid the carnage. But war spares no one. In a pivotal battle near what would become Lumiose City, Az's forces were overrun. He watched helpless as his Floette sacrificed itself to shield him from a fatal blast. That moment shattered him. Grief consumed the king, twisting his brilliant mind toward desperation. You can feel it, can't you? The raw ache of losing your closest companion, the one who stood by you through every trial. For Az, it wasn't just loss, it was the spark that ignited forbidden science. Driven mad by sorrow, Az poured his kingdom's resources into a machine of unimaginable power. He sought to defy death itself, to bring back what war had stolen. The result? The ultimate weapon, a floating fortress capable of wiping out life on a continental scale. He unleashed it, not once, but in a cataclysm that ended the war but scarred Kalos forever. Legends say the blast's energy rippled across regions, altering the fabric of reality. Pokémon evolved in response, their bonds with trainers deepening into something transcendent. Az survived, but at what cost? His grief-fueled invention granted him immortality. For 3,000 years he's wandered Kalos as a ghost in his own land, his long white hair flowing like a shroud, his eyes hollow with unending remorse. You encounter him in the games as that enigmatic old man, on the battle subway, dispensing cryptic wisdom. But dig deeper into the lore and his pain unfolds. He built the ultimate weapon to avenge his Floette, only to realise too late that it destroyed countless more lives. Now, he drifts from ruin to ruin, seeking forgiveness he believes he'll never earn. Picture him standing atop the cliffs of Azure Bay at midnight, the waves crashing below like accusations, or huddled in the shadows of the Pokémon village, watching wild Pokémon lie free while he remains chained to existence. His grief isn't fleeting, it's an eternal storm, fueling his quest to dismantle the very powers he unleashed. Every megastone scattered across Kalos, a remnant of his era, pulsing with the life force he weaponized. AZ knows their secrets because he forged them, binding infinite energy to stones in a bid for resurrection. And here's your first hint at the forbidden power lurking beneath it all: the fleur-de-lis symbols. You've seen them etched into doorways in Lumiose City, carved into the arches of Shalour's Tower of Mastery, even glowing faintly on certain megastones. What you might not realise is they're no mere decoration. These stylised lilies mark sites of AZ's ancient experiments, gateways to power humans were never meant to wield. Spot one on the walls of Parfum Palace, half hidden by ivy, and you sense the air thicken with latent energy. In Geosenge Town, they cluster around those massive stone pillars, humming with electricity that raises hairs on your neck. The lore ties them directly to AZ's grief. He commissioned them as seals, warnings to future generations. Touch not the heart of eternity, they seem to say, but curiosity draws trainers like you to them. Unaware, they pulse in rhythm with mega evolutions. That surge you feel when your Lucario Mega evolves? It's echoing AZ's forbidden tech, a whisper from his war machine. Why does this matter to you now, relaxing into this lore? Because these symbols are the first breadcrumb leading to Kalos' transformation. They hint at how a king's sorrow birthed mega evolution, changing battles, bonds, and the world forever. Imagine stumbling upon one in the wild, say etched into a boulder near Dendermill Town. Your Pokémon reacts instinctively, their eyes gleaming with untapped potential. It's no coincidence. AZ's legacy ensures that every trainer who activates a key, stone is dancing on the edge of his ancient grief. Let me take you deeper into AZ's torment. Diaries unearthed in lore, fictional but richly detailed, describe his nights after the war. He'd cradle Floette's wilted flower, whispering apologies to the stars. His scientists, trembling under his command, fused life energy from captured legendaries into crystals, creating the precursors to megastones. The fleur-de-lis became his signature, stamped on every prototype. One tale speaks of a hidden vault beneath Reflection Cave, sealed with a dozen such symbols, holding a stone that could mega-evolve any Pokémon indefinitely. AZ destroyed it himself, but fragments linger, calling to those pure of heart. You feel the pull, don't you? That mix of awe and dread when uncovering these layers. Kalos' beauty masks this because its people chose forgetting. After the war, survivors vowed peace, rebuilding with art and culture. Lumiose's lights, a defiant glow against the darkness, AZ unleashed. But his grief echoes in every fairy-type Pokémon flitting through Santaloon Forest, in every steel fortress, like AZ's own weapon hovering eternally. Consider the implications for your own journey. When you visit the Tower of Mastery and Karina hands you the Mega Glove, you're inheriting AZ's burden. Those fleur-de-lis on the tower's stones watch you, judging if you're worthy. Fail, and the power corrupts, as it did the king. Succeed, and you glimpse eternity. His story warns us, power without heart leads to ruin. Yet it also promises transcendence, the grief-fueled spark that lets Charizard soar higher, Venusaur bloom eternally. AZ's eternal wandering adds such poignant depth. He's seen Kalos rise from ashes 100 times over. He's mourned every new war, every broken bond. In X and Y, he confronts you at the game's climax. His Floette miraculously revived after millennia. That reunion? pure catharsis, a king's grief finally cracking. But even then he fades into legend, leaving questions. Where does he roam now? Does he guard the fleur-de-lis sites personally, a spectral protector? These whispers from ancient Kalos aren't dusty facts. They're alive, thrumming in your veins as you listen. The war-torn past fuels every mega-evolution, AZ's grief the engine behind it all. Those symbols, your map to deeper mysteries. And as these whispers grow louder, they lead us straight to the dawn of that doomed kingdom itself. In the next chapter, The Dawn of a Doomed Kingdom, you'll uncover how it all began, what sparked AZ's rise and the first cracks in paradise that invited catastrophe. You won't want to miss how one fateful decision set eternity in motion. Stay with me. The Dawn of a Doomed Kingdom. 3,000 years ago, King AZ claimed the throne of Kalos, and in his first decade, he transformed a fractured land into a beacon of wealth and wonder that rivaled the sun itself. You know how history often paints rulers in broad strokes, but AZ, he was different. He didn't just rule, he rebuilt. From the fertile valleys of Lever to the jagged peaks near Snowbell, his vision took root. He commissioned grand aqueducts that snaked through the countryside, channeling crystal-clear waters to every village, turning parched fields into endless seas of golden wheat and vibrant berries. Markets overflowed with silks from shallow cities' looms, spices from the southern coasts, and jewels pried from the depths of glittering cave. Trade routes buzzed with merchants haggling over rare candies and evolutionary stones, drawing travellers from distant lands who whispered that Kalos was the jewel of the world. What made AZ's reign truly shine was his unyielding focus on innovation. He gathered the sharpest minds, scholars, blacksmiths, and even wandering monks who communed with the spirits of the land. Together, they forged tools that seemed pulled from legend. Picture massive windmills harnessing the gales off Ambretta town, grinding grain faster than any Pokémon could dream, or the luminous lanterns lining Lumios's streets, powered by fire-type embers contained in unbreakable glass orbs, banishing the night entirely. AZ himself oversaw the construction of the first great academies, where children learned not just to command Pokémon, but to understand them. He decreed that every citizen receive a partner Pokémon at birth, fostering bonds that wove human and creature into one unbreakable fabric. Under his rule, poverty vanished. Feasts lasted weeks, with tables groaning under roasts of miltank beef, salads of lum berries, and pies bursting with pitcher sweetness. You can sense it, can't you? That golden age hum, where laughter echoed from palaces and the air smelled of fresh bread and blooming roses. But prosperity like that? It casts a long shadow, and envy stirred in the hearts of outsiders. Far to the east, across treacherous seas, a coalition of warlords from shadowy realms eyed Kalos with hunger. They called themselves the Invaders, ruthless hordes led by chieftains who wielded armies of brutal Pokémon like Braviary and Hydreigon, their eyes fixed on Kalos's riches. These weren't mere raiders. They were a storm of conquest, sweeping through smaller kingdoms, leaving ashes where cities once stood. Their ships darkened the horizons, black sails emblazoned with jagged skulls, and their war cries shook the earth as they landed on Kalos's shores near Coumarine. Villages burned, fields trampled. The first waves hit like a tidal wave, their forces overwhelming isolated garrisons with sheer numbers and ferocity. AZ didn't hesitate. He rallied his people with a speech that still echoes in ancient scrolls. Kalos is not a prize to be stolen. It is our blood, our breath, our eternal home. And here's where the true miracle unfolded. You won't believe how deeply humans and Pokémon united in that crucible of war. It wasn't just trainers barking orders. It was symbiosis on a scale never seen before. Farmers Audino healed thee, wounded by the thousands, their gentle pulses mending gashes from enemy claws. Blacksmiths paired with onyx to carve fortifications from mountainsides, the rock snake's roars blending with hammers' clang. In the skies above Sillage, Talonflame squadrons, guided by human riders, dove like comets into invader flocks, feathers aflame. Aze himself led charges on his majestic warlord Pokémon, a towering figure clad in armor that gleamed like moonlight. You feel the pulse of it, right? The way a Lucario's aura synced with the soldier's heartbeat, predicting enemy strikes before they landed. Fishermen from Route 8 trained their Corsola into living barricades, coral walls sprouting from the waves to snag incoming ships. Even the tiniest Pokémon joined. Scatterbug swarms released silken nets to tangle foes, while Joltik sparked blackouts in enemy camps. This unity wasn't forced. It was born of desperation and devotion. Families fought side by side, a mother with her Lillipup nipping at heels, a child directing Bunnelby to burrow traps. AZ walked among them all, his presence a rallying fire. He shared his table with Pokémon generals, feeding them the finest cuts, listening to their growls as strategy. Victory after victory piled up. The Battle of Azure Bay, where frillish tides drowned invader fleets. The Siege of Dendemil, where Abomasno blizzards froze armies solid. Kalos held. The invaders faltered, their lines cracking under the weight of this impossible alliance. Yet amid the glory of those triumphs, a single loss pierced Az's heart like no blade could. His closest companion, a delicate Floette, the shiny one with petals like eternal spring, had been by his side since childhood. She wasn't just a Pokémon, she was his confidant, his muse, fluttering through palace halls with a scent of fresh dew that lifted every spirit. During a brutal clash on the plains near Parfum Palace, as Azef pressed an assault, chaos erupted. A rampaging enemy, Noivern, swooped low, sonic blasts shattering the air. Floette darted forward, her petals glowing with grassy terrain to shield her king, but the blast caught her mid-air. She crumpled, her light fading as Az cradled her tiny form. "No," he whispered, his voice breaking for the first time in public. Healers swarmed, but nothing worked. Floette was gone, her petals wilting to grey ash in his hands. That moment, it changed everything. You see, Az had always been a man of progress, but Floette's death ignited something primal, an obsession with cheating mortality itself. He locked himself in his chambers for weeks, poring over forbidden texts smuggled from distant ruins. Whispers spread through the court. The king was unravelling, muttering about life everlasting and energies that bound soul to stone. His prosperous reign, once a symphony of harmony, now hummed with an undercurrent of dread. Advisors pleaded, but Az's eyes burned with a new fire. He began experiments in secret labs beneath the palace, channeling the very essence of Pokémon vitality into machines that hummed with unnatural power. The unity against invaders had forged Kalos unbreakable, but this personal wound, it planted the seed of doom. How could a king who saved a kingdom from conquest now chase shadows beyond death? The war dragged on, but Az's mind wandered those darkened paths. Soldiers noticed his distractions, orders delayed, strategies laced with talk of eternal guardians. Floette's loss wasn't just grief, it was the spark. He commissioned artists to paint her image on every banner, a reminder not of victory, but of fragility. In quiet moments by campfires, veterans shared tales, how Floette once healed an entire platoon with a single fairy wind, her laughter like tinkling bells. Now her absence haunted them all. Az's obsession grew roots. He sought sages in the deepest caves, bartered with wandering mystics for lore on revival. Rumours flew of blood rituals, of draining life from captured invaders to fuel his quests. Prosperity endured on the surface, harvests still bountiful, alliances strong, but cracks formed. Pokémon sensed it, their bonds straining as AZ's aura darkened. Consider the human side too. You, listening now, can imagine the toll. A baker in Lumiose, whose Gogoot pulled ploughs through the war, now watched her king descend. Loyalty held, but fear crept in. What if immortality's price was their own fleeting lives? AZ pushed harder. He mapped ley lines across Kalos, ancient veins of energy pulsing from Geosenge to Lumiose. Floette's memory drove him to extremes. Sketches of devices that could capture the spark of eternity. The invaders, sensing weakness, mounted fiercer assaults, but Kalos's united front repelled them still. Yet every clash reminded AZ of loss. One night, under a blood moon, he unearthed a relic from Floette's petals, a faint glow that wouldn't die. This, he vowed, is the key. That vow marked the turning point, the dawn of his kingdom, so bright with rain and unity, dimmed as obsession took hold. Prosperity's glow masked a growing shadow, one that would eclipse all. Warriors returned home heroes, only to find their king more ghost than man. Pokémon alliances, once joyful, grew tense, some fleeing his presence, others standing vigil with uneasy loyalty. AZ's court filled with alchemists and engineers, hammering through nights on prototypes that whirred with stolen life force. The revelation hit like thunder. Floette hadn't just died. She'd revealed the fragility of all existence. Immortality wasn't a dream. It was destiny, and AZ would seize it, no matter the cost. As the war's final echoes faded, Kalos stood triumphant, but forever altered. Humans and Pokémon, bound closer than ever, had repelled the invaders at staggering cost. Yet AZ's heart, scarred by that one irreplaceable loss, set a course none could foresee. What horrors would his genius unleash in pursuit of forever? That question haunted the kingdom's halls, pulling everyone toward an abyss, and now, as AZ's obsession crystallized into action, he turned to forging the ultimate weapon, a creation born of grief, genius, and raw power that would redefine Kalos forever. You won't want to miss how it all unfolded. Up next in Chapter 3, Forging the Ultimate Weapon. Forging the Ultimate Weapon. In the shadowed heart of ancient Kalos, King AZ faced a crisis that no ruler could ignore. His kingdom's endless war against invaders had drained every last resource, leaving his armies on the brink of collapse. You know the desperation of a leader watching his people starve for power, right? AZ demanded a weapon unlike any other, one fueled by infinite energy that would end the conflict forever. His scientists huddled in hidden forges beneath the earth, scoured forbidden texts and tapped into the raw essence of the region itself. They discovered the life Pokémon, Yveltal, a harbinger of destruction, whose very being pulsed with the cycle of life and death. But harnessing that, it was a gamble that pushed the boundaries of reality. What drove them to this madness? Picture supply lines shattered, Pokémon exhausted beyond recovery, and enemy forces closing in on Lumiose's precursors. AZ's engineers experimented relentlessly. They built prototypes powered by megastones, those glittering catalysts of evolution that amplified strength 100-fold. Yet even those weren't enough. Regular battles left his forces depleted. Mega evolutions burned through stamina too quickly, so they sought something eternal. Rumours spread of a colossal machine, a tower-like cannon rising from the palace grounds, its core humming with stolen starlight. Engineers channeled Zagada's core energy, the balance keeper, but it flickered and failed under the strain. You can feel the urgency, can't you? Night after night, failures piled up, forges glowing red hot as they refined their approach. They turned to the ultimate power source, the infinite energy stone, a mythical crystal said to draw from the planet's life force itself. Whispers among the court called it the eternal heart, unearthed from Kalos's deepest caverns where light never reached. AZ oversaw every test personally, his grief over his lost son fueling an unyielding obsession. "Give me power that never fades," he commanded. The stone was embedded in the weapon's heart, linked to amplifiers forged from rare metals only found in Geosenge's craters. Initial trials lit up the sky, beams vaporizing boulders miles away. Victory seemed close, but you sense the shadow creeping in, don't you? Something darker lurked beneath the promise. As the war raged fiercer, with invaders breaching the northern coasts, AZ accelerated production. Thousands of Pokémon were conscripted into the forges, Garchomps hauling ore, Excadrills tunneling for more crystals, even legendaries like Articuno lending their icy chill to cool overheating reactors. The king's vision crystallized. This ultimate weapon would not just strike, it would rewrite the battlefield. Engineers etched runes from ancient scrolls, invoking the bonds of trainer and Pokémon to stabilize the energy flow. Mega evolutions were integrated as boosters. Imagine Charizard X soaring above the cannon, its blaze syncing with the stone to multiply output. Tests escalated. A single shot leveled a mock enemy camp, leaving scorched earth where forests once stood. Cheers echoed through the halls. Infinite energy at last. But here's the twist that shatters everything you thought you knew. That infinite energy, it wasn't infinite at all. The stone didn't generate power from nothing. It drained life directly from Pokémon armies on both sides. You won't believe how they uncovered it. During a massive calibration, as the cannon charged for its first true battle, alarms blared. Pokémon nearby withered instantly, vitality siphoned away, bodies crumbling to dust mid-roar. The engineers had linked the stone to Eviltal's destructive aura unintentionally, creating a vacuum that pulled life force indiscriminately. AZ's own forces felt it first, loyal Lucario fading, Venusaur vines shriveling. Panic spread, yet the king refused to halt. "One shot," he declared, "one shot to save us all." The revelation hit like a thunderbolt. Their miracle weapon was a parasite, feasting on the very allies it was meant to protect. You have to wonder, how did they justify it? Reports from the front lines painted horror. Pokémon armies marching into battle, only to collapse en masse as the cannon hummed to life miles away. Drained husks littered the fields, eyes vacant, life essence funneled into the glowing core. Invaders suffered too, their ranks thinning as the weapon's hunger grew. AZ masked it as battle fatigue, but whispers turned to roars among the troops. Engineers defected, pleading for mercy, but the forges burned brighter. They refined the drain, targeting enemy lines first with precision, beams guided by Talonflame scouts. Still, friendly losses mounted. A squadron of Mega Heracross vanished entirely during a skirmish, their power absorbed to fuel a counterstrike. The king's desperation birthed a monster. Now the climax that scarred Kalos forever. With invaders at the gates of the capital, AZ fired the ultimate weapon in full. The cataclysmic blast erupted like the sun crashing to earth. A beam of pure stolen life energy lanced across the horizon, wider than a river, brighter than a supernova. It swept through enemy ranks, petrifying thousands in eternal stone. Imagine the scene. Pokémon frozen mid-charge, Humans in eternal screams, armies turned to colossal statues dotting the landscape. Geosenge Valley became a graveyard of marble horrors, figures locked in agony, moss claiming their forms over centuries. The drain peaked, tens of thousands of lives harvested in seconds, Pokémon from both sides reduced to lifeless rock. The ground trembled, skies darkened, an Yveltal's shadow wheeled overhead, as if claiming its due. The aftermath, silence, broken only by the wind whistling through petrified forests. AZ's forces won the day, but at what cost? Fields of stone warriors stood as grim monuments, a testament to unchecked ambition. You can almost hear the echoes of their final cries, can't you? The weapon cooled, its core dimmed, but the infinite energy dream lay exposed as a lie. Engineers dismantled what they could, burying schematics deep underground. Yet fragments survived, hinting at the power that birthed Mega Evolution's keys. Kalos rebuilt atop those ruins, but the scars remained. Those petrified legions, a warning etched in stone. Delve deeper into the mechanics, because this weapon redefined power in Pokémon history. The life drain operated through ethereal threads, invisible tethers linking the stone to living beings. Proximity amplified it. During the blast, it spanned hundreds of miles, pulling vitality like a black hole. Scientists later theorized it disrupted the bond between soul and body, similar to how Mega Evolution temporarily overloads a Pokémon's limits. AZ experimented with controls, creating resonance orbs to direct the flow. Early prototypes of Megastones, channeling life into evolutions rather than destruction. One test revived a fallen soldier's Pokémon briefly, hinting at healing potential, twisted into horror. Consider the human toll. Trainers watch their partners petrify, bonds severed forever. Stories circulated of a Mega Lucario, mid-evolution, turning to stone with aura flaring eternally frozen. AZ himself wandered the stone fields post-blast, touching the faces of the fallen, his son's memory haunting every statue. The weapon's casing, forged from Kalosian mithril, withstood the recoil, but cracks revealed veins of crystallized life energy, glowing faintly to this day in hidden vaults. Invader leaders petrified at their war tents clutched maps forever pointing to Lumiose. This catastrophe rippled through time. The petrified thousands became legends, fueling folktales of the Stone Army that stirs on blood moons. Explorers in modern Kalos report chills near Geosenge, whispers of unrest. The weapon's tech influenced Professor Sycamore's mega research, controlled life surges, creating evolutions without the drain. But AZ knew the truth. Power always demands a price. You feel the weight of it, the moral quandary. Was AZ a visionary or a butcher? His desperate search birthed innovation. Yet the twist condemned legions. Those eternal stones guard secrets still, waiting for the bold. And what became of AZ after this horror? That leads us straight into his 1,000-year exile, a saga of immortality and regret that will leave you questioning everything about Kalos's soul. Stay with me as we uncover how one man's grief forged an undying wanderer. AZ's 1,000-year exile. For over 1,000 years, King AZ roamed the shattered landscapes of Kalos, cursed with immortality that turned victory into eternal torment. You see, after unleashing the ultimate weapon on his enemies, AZ believed he had triumphed. The war was over. His kingdom stood tall amid the ruins. But that weapon, forged from desperation to revive his lost Floette, came at a price he never anticipated. It bound his life force to an unending cycle, granting him not just survival, but an undying existence. No blade could pierce his flesh. No age could wither his body. He aged only in spirit, watching the world change while he remained frozen in grief. What does immortality mean when every dawn brings the same hollow ache? Az returned to his palace expecting celebration, but the air hung heavy with ash and sorrow. His people cheered at first, hailing him as the saviour who ended the bloodshed. Yet whispers spread quickly. The weapon had not only obliterated the enemy kingdom, but drained life from the land itself. Fields withered, rivers ran dry in places, Pokémon fled the scarred earth, and Az, in his private chambers, activated the revival machine, powered by that same destructive energy. He held the wilted flower of his beloved Floette, the one token he clutched through the chaos of battle. Energy surged, light bloomed, Floette reappeared before him, alive, her tiny form fluttering with fragile wings. You can picture the moment, can't you? His heart, so long shattered by her battlefield death, mended in an instant. Tears streamed down his face as he reached out. Floette hovered close, her eyes meeting his with a flicker of recognition. For a brief, glorious hour, joy flooded the palace. Az laughed for the first time in years, promising her a world remade in peace. He vowed to dismantle the weapon, to heal the wounds it caused. But then she saw it. From the window, the full horror unfolded. Vast swathes of Kalos lay barren, twisted remnants of forests and meadows where life had been sucked away to fuel the revival. Pokémon corpses dotted the horizon, victims of the weapon's hunger. Floette's glow dimmed. She turned away, her wings trembling, not with weakness but with disgust. How could she forgive him? That question burned in Az's mind as Floette flew from his grasp, vanishing into the toxic sky. She rejected the very life he'd given back to her, scorning the cost of his love. Betrayal cut deeper than any sword. This was no mere abandonment. It was a verdict on his soul. The king who sought to defy death had become its architect, and his Floette, the purest part of his heart, deemed him monstrous. He collapsed to his knees, clutching the empty air where she had been. In that instant, his immortality transformed from a gift into a curse. Every breath mocked him now. Every heartbeat echoed her final glance of revulsion. Driven by anguish, Az forged armour from the remnants of his weapon's casing, plating his body in unyielding steel etched with royal insignias. He abandoned his throne, leaving his kingdom to bewildered advisors. No proclamations, no farewells, just a shadow slipping into the night, accompanied only by a loyal Golurk, the ancient Pokémon guardian that had served his family for generations. Golurk's massive frame lumbered beside him, its blind eyes glowing faintly, a silent witness to the king's unravelling. Together, they wandered the fringes of Kalos, from the misty coasts of Sillage to the shadowed depths of Terminus Cave. Az sought Floette everywhere, scouring ruins for signs of her passage, interrogating wild Pokémon with pleas that grew hoarse over decades. Years blurred into decades. You might wonder how a man endures such isolation. Az watched villages rise from the war's ashes, only to crumble under time's weight. He befriended children who aged into elders before his eyes, sharing tales of the Great War without revealing his identity. One such encounter haunts the lore. In a quiet hamlet near Laver City, he saved a young trainer's Charmander from bandits. The boy grew old, his Pokémon evolving into a mighty Charizard that Az admired from afar. When the man died, Az stood at his grave, whispering, "You lived fully, I envy that." Moments like these piled upon him, each loss reopening the wound of Floette's betrayal. His soul fractured further, splintering into rage, then numbness, then a desperate hunger for meaning. Centuries passed. Kalos evolved around him. The primal energies of the land stirred in response to the weapon's lingering scar. Az delved into forbidden research, tinkering in hidden lairs beneath Geosenge town. He dissected the flower Floette left behind. Not the wilted one, but a preserved bloom from her final days. It pulsed with inexplicable energy, defying decay. This flower became his obsession. In his despair, he unlocked its secret, an infinite life force born from Floette's unyielding spirit. You won't believe how this ties into everything we've explored. AZ harnessed that energy, channeling it through prototypes of armor amplifiers. These were no mere trinkets. They allowed Pokémon to tap into hidden potential, surging with power far beyond natural limits. He tested them on wild Aldino in moonlit glades, watching their forms shimmer and strengthen momentarily. The seeds of mega evolution took root here, planted in the fertile soil of his broken heart. But progress came at a cost to his sanity. Nightmares plagued him. Visions of Floette's wings folding in horror replayed endlessly. He screamed into storms over Reflection Cave, demanding the heavens return her. Golurk restrained him during rages, its clay body cracking under the strain. AZ's armor grew heavier, layered with modifications to contain his volatile experiments. He clashed with treasure hunters, mistaking him for a myth, his blade flashing with precision, honed over ages. One skirmish near the Pokémon village left him staring at a cluster of abandoned Pokémon, mirroring his own exile. "We are all forsaken," he muttered, binding a wounded Floette lookalike with gentle hands before releasing it into the wild. As the first millennium dawned, AZ's wanderings led him through the heart of Kalos. He stood atop Prism Tower's unfinished predecessor, surveying Lumio City's flickering lights, a beacon of human resilience. Yet envy gnawed at him. Mortals built legacies that outlasted flesh. He pondered dismantling his immortality, but the curse clung like rust to his armor. In quiet moments by Shallow City's cliffs, he confided in Golurk about Floette's eyes, how they once sparkled with loyalty during hunts in Parfum Palace gardens. Those memories fueled his drive. The flower's energy experiments evolved. He crafted a key-like device, embedding it with crystalline amplifiers that resonated with Pokémon bonds. A stray Lucario felt its pulse first, aura flaring wildly, before stabilizing into something transcendent. You feel the weight of it, don't you? AZ's exile wasn't mere survival. It was a forge for revolution. His shattered soul birthed innovations that would redefine Kalos. He evaded royal hunts, as later kings branded him a ghost haunting the war's echoes. Folklore painted him as the wandering king, a spectre seeking vengeance. But vengeance faded. Creation took its place. In a cavern near Ambret town, fossils whispered secrets of ancient power, blending with Floette's eternal bloom to inspire stability in his amplifiers. He envisioned a world where bonds granted temporary eternity, countering death's sting without the weapon's horror. Generations cycled. AZ mentored disguised, teaching swordplay to knights who never knew his face. He grieved pandemics that swept regions, powerless to intervene without revealing his curse. A particularly brutal winter near Snowbell City saw him shelter orphaned Spheal, their playful chirps piercing his gloom. One evolved under his experimental aura, hinting at evolutions unbound by time. These micro-victories sustained him, weaving Floette's legacy into potential salvation. Yet betrayal's scar festered. He etched her name into his armor's core, a hidden inscription pulsing with the flower's light. By the 1000th year, AZ had mapped Kalos's ley lines, veins of primal energy scarred by his weapon. He confronted warped Zygarde cores in slumbering lairs, sensing their rage mirrored his own. Golurk, ancient even then, shared silent vigils, its programming evolving through loyalty. AZ's voice grew gravelly, words sparse, but his mind sharpened. The Mega Evolution System crystallized in sketches. A stone to anchor the energy, a bond to ignite it. Floette's flower powered the prototype, its glow illuminating caverns with otherworldly hues. Success tasted bittersweet, power without her to share it. His exile peaked in confrontation. Rumours drew him to Lysandra's rising shadow, but that's a tale for shadows yet to lift. AZ retreated deeper, armour humming with restrained might. The king's curse unfolded not as punishment, but crucible. Immortality forced evolution from grief. Floette's betrayal, though soul-shattering, ignited. Genius, in despair's depths, he planted seeds that would bloom into mega-evolution, promising trainers a taste of infinity through unbreakable bonds. What happens when these ancient echoes stir in the modern age? Up next in Modern Kalos Awakens, you'll discover how AZ's forgotten legacy crashes into the present, awakening forces that threaten to reshape everything once more. You won't want to miss how it all collides. Modern Kalos Awakens. In the bustling heart of Lumiose City, Professor Sycamore first uncovered a shimmering megastone during a routine excavation beneath the streets in 1995. That single discovery ignited a fire that would redefine Pokémon research forever. You see, Kalos had slumbered under layers of history for centuries, its ancient legends of ultimate power fading into myth. But as the region entered its modern era, that power began to stir again, pulling scientists, trainers, and everyday wanderers into a web of mystery. Professor Augustine Sycamore wasn't always the legendary figure we know today. Born in a quiet suburb of Lumiose, he grew up watching his parents tend to a small garden of rare berries, fascinated by how Pokémon and humans coexisted in perfect harmony. From a young age, he questioned why some bonds between trainers and their partners seemed unbreakable, transcending the usual limits of growth and battle. By his teens, he was dissecting old texts in the city's grand library, poring over fragmented accounts of weapons forged from life itself and stones that granted temporary ascension. What drove him wasn't fame or fortune, it was a burning curiosity. Could there be a force in Pokémon evolution that went beyond nature's design? University years sharpened that curiosity into obsession. Sycamore graduated top of his class from Lumiose University, specializing in Pokémon physiology. His thesis, a radical theory proposing that certain evolutions weren't random but triggered by deep emotional resonances. Professors laughed it off as romantic nonsense back then. But you know what? He kept digging, literally. Armed with a grant from the Kalos Pokémon League, he set up his first makeshift lab in a rented apartment overlooking the Prism Tower. Night after night, he'd analyse samples from wild Pokémon in the nearby routes, noting anomalies in their energy signatures during battles. Trainers passing through would share stories of their Pokémon glowing brighter when trust was at its peak. Those tales fueled him. Then came the pivotal moment. In the spring of 1995, during a citywide urban renewal project, workers unearthed strange relics beneath what is now the heart of Lumiose's cafe district. Sycamore, invited as a consultant, spotted it immediately. A jagged, violet-hued stone, pulsing faintly under the floodlights. He called it the Lucarianite, though its true name would come later. Holding it, he felt a surge, like the stone was alive, whispering promises of untapped potential. Tests revealed it resonated with the DNA of Lucario, a Pokémon known for its aura-sensing abilities. This wasn't just a fossil or a gem, it was a catalyst capable of transforming a Pokémon mid-battle into something godlike. Word spread like wildfire through academic circles. Skeptics demanded proof, but Sycamore was already planning his next move. His lifelong quest had begun right there, in the dust of a construction site. He rallied a team of young researchers, secured funding from intrigued gym leaders, and launched expeditions across Kalos. The region, with its diverse landscapes from coastal cliffs to misty caves, became his hunting ground. Megastones weren't centralized in some lost temple. They were scattered, hidden in plain sight, as if the land itself had dispersed them to await the right hands. Consider the first major find after Lumiose. On Route 10, high in the mountains near Geosenge town, Sycamore's team braved blizzards to reach a forgotten shrine. Tucked behind an avalanche of ice was the Abomasite, glowing blue against the snow. It belonged to Abomasnow, the frost tree Pokémon, whose megaform could summon blizzards that blanketed entire valleys. Sycamore later recounted how, during the dig, a wild Abomasnow appeared, not attacking but watching, as if recognizing the stone's call. That encounter planted the first seed of a bigger idea. Expeditions multiplied. In the depths of Reflection Cave, they discovered the Dian Site, linked to Dian Site's crystalline elegance. Emerging from the echoing tunnels, Sycamore held it up to the light, marveling at how it refracted rainbows across the cavern walls. Further south, on the sun-baked shores of Sillage City, the Tyranitarite washed up after a storm, its rugged surface mirroring the armor Pokemon's unyielding strength. Each stone told a story of a specific Pokemon, amplifying traits that defined its essence: speed for Aerodactyl, resilience for Venusaur, ferocity for Garchomp. But here's what thrilled Sycamore most. These weren't random artifacts. Patterns emerged. Stones appeared near sites of historical significance, like the ancient battlefields around Snowbell City, or the glittering veins of Shalor City's cliffs. He mapped them meticulously, plotting coordinates on massive charts in his expanding lab. By 1998, his collection numbered over a dozen, each verified through rigorous spectroscopy that showed unique energy frequencies. Trainers began visiting, begging to test them. Early experiments were chaotic, failures mostly, but occasional successes hinted at requirements beyond mere possession. You might wonder, how did this change everyday life in Kalos? Gym battles evolved overnight. Leaders like Valerie in Lever City reported Pokémon pushing limits they'd never dreamed of. Young trainers on their journeys stumbled upon stones themselves, sparking a renaissance in bonding rituals. Sycamore hosted seminars in Lumiose's central plaza, drawing crowds that spilled into the streets. He'd demonstrate with his own Garchomp, explaining how the stone's power lay dormant until activated. It's not about force, he'd say, voice steady and passionate. It's about connection. As discoveries piled up, whispers started circulating among his inner circle. Researchers noted that megastones only responded in the presence of certain trainers, those with histories of profound loyalty to their partners. One assistant, observing a test with a Blazikenite, murmured it first: a bond beyond evolution. Not just growth through levels or stones like the usual evolutionary items, but something forged in the fires of shared trials. Sycamore paused his notes that night, staring at the ceiling. Could it be? Evolution had always been predictable. Trade, level up, stone. But this demanded heart, aura, a symphony of souls. He dove deeper. Interviews with veteran trainers revealed patterns. A coordinator from Coumarine City swore her Altaria Mega evolved during a performance only after years of synchronized dances. A miner in Glittering Cave found the Sableye stone and watched it transform his partner after pulling him from a collapse. Sycamore compiled dossiers, hundreds of pages thick, cross-referencing stone locations with legendary lore. The scatter pattern matched descriptions of a great dispersal event, perhaps tied to those primordial weapons of mass creation and destruction. Challenges mounted, of course. Rival professors accused him of hoarding. The Pokémon League imposed regulations, fearing unstable power. Underground collectors hunted stones too, leading to skirmishes in remote areas like the Pokémon Village. Sycamore weathered it all, his lab growing into a beacon under the Prism Tower's glow. By the early 2000s, Kalos buzzed with Mega Fever. Tournaments featured demo battles, where Mega Charizard X roared flames that lit the night sky, or Mega Mewtwo Y levitated with psychic grace that hushed arenas. Yet Sycamore sensed they were on the cusp of something larger. Each stone unlocked a piece, but the mechanism? Elusive. He'd spend evenings alone, holding a Venusaurite, feeling its pulse sink faintly with his own heartbeat. The bond beyond evolution wasn't metaphor. It was literal, a bridge between human will and Pokémon spirit. First whispers turned to theories, scribbled in margins, aura amplification, key holders, ultimate empowerment. Trainers you might recognize today trace their paths back to this era. Imagine a fresh-faced boy from Vanderville Town, handed his first megastone by Sycamore himself. That boy would go on to challenge the world, but that's another tale. For now, know this: Sycamore's quest transformed Kalos from a region of beauty into one of boundless potential. Stones turned up in the unlikeliest places, a Gyarados in the depths of Lake Lancent, a Salomon site perched on Ambret Town's fossil cliffs. Each find drew maps tighter, revealing Kalos as a living puzzle. Sycamore's personal evolution mirrored it. The once youthful dreamer aged into a sage, his white coat stained with cave dust, eyes alight with unquenched wonder. He'd tell you directly if you sat across his desk. Every stone is a key, but without the right lock, it's useless. That truth hung over his work, fueling late nights and daring treks. As the collection swelled to 30, then 40, international eyes turned to Kalos. Researchers from Kanto and Johto arrived, exchanging data on their own oddities, like the Hooper rings. But Sycamore guarded his core insight. The scatter wasn't accident, it was invitation, calling forth those worthy of the power. Those first whispers of a bond beyond evolution echoed louder now. In quiet moments, Sycamore pondered the ancients who wielded this force. Had they scattered the stones to prevent catastrophe, or to ensure revival? Questions piled like unturned stones. You've journeyed with me this far, uncovering how one professor's spark awakened modern Kalos. But what unlocks that bond, turning stone to spectacle? That's the heart of it all. And in the next chapter, the key to mega evolution, we'll reveal the secret Sycamore chased for decades. The one element that makes the impossible real. You won't want to miss how it changes everything you thought you knew. The key to mega evolution. Every mega evolution begins with a single, shimmering truth. It requires a keystone, a rare and ancient gem that serves as the catalyst for unimaginable power. These stones aren't just rocks, they're conduits of energy, forged in the fires of Kalos' distant past, waiting for the right moment to ignite. You see, without a keystone, no Pokémon can transcend its limits, no matter how fierce its spirit. But here's where it gets personal. What makes one trainer able to trigger this transformation while another fails? It's the unbreakable bond between you and your Pokémon partner. Picture holding that keystone in your palm for the first time. It's cool to the touch at first, almost ordinary, like a polished jewel from a forgotten ruin. But as you forge your connection with your Pokémon, it warms, pulsing with a rhythm that matches your heartbeat. In Kalos, these stones were scattered across the region, hidden in places like the glittering caves of Reflection Cave or the shadowed depths of Geosenge Town. Trainers who sought them out weren't just chasing power, they were chasing destiny. The revelation hit the world like a thunderbolt during the Kalos League era. Mega Evolution wasn't a solo act. It demanded synergy, a profound link where your emotions, your resolve, and your Pokemon's loyalty intertwined. Let me take you deeper into this bond. Imagine you've trained side by side for years. Through rain-soaked routes and sun-baked plateaus, your Pokémon knows your fears, your triumphs, the way your voice cracks when you're determined. That shared history? It's the spark. When you clutch the keystone and call out, "Mega Evolve," it's not a command, it's a plea from the soul. The stone responds only if that bond is pure, untainted by doubt or selfishness. We've seen it in countless battles. A trainer hesitates and the stone stays dormant, cold. But when trust flows like a river, the air crackles. Energy surges from the stone into your Pokémon, rewriting its very essence in a blaze of light. Now consider the trainer's role. Your inner strength is the true unlocker here. It's not about raw power or gadgets. It's the fire in your heart. Kalos lore whispers of ancient warriors who first harnessed this, their wills so unyielding they bent reality itself. Think of it like this: Mega Evolution amplifies what's already there. A timid trainer with a brave Pokémon. The stone senses the mismatch and refuses, but you, with your unshakable belief, your willingness to stake everything on that partnership, that's when potential explodes. It's why Professor Sycamore obsessed over it. He knew the human element was the wild card. Your strength isn't physical, it's emotional resilience, the kind forged in loss and victory. Have you ever pushed through a gym battle feeling like you had nothing left? Multiply that resolve by infinity, and you glimpse what unlocks Mega Evolution. Take the example of a common sight in Kalos, the Mega Ampharos. Its trainer, often a shepherd from the glittering cave, wears the keystone as a necklace, close to the heart. During a storm-ravaged showdown, the bond ignites. The Pokémon's wool ignites into a lighthouse of power, beams slicing through darkness. Why does it work? Because that trainer's inner strength, nurtured through lonely nights, guiding lost travelers, mirrors the Pokémon's loyal glow. You feel it, don't you? That rush of possibility, knowing your own hidden depths could awaken such might. But let's build on that revelation with real Kalos grit. Bonds aren't built overnight, they're tempered in the fires of challenge. Remember the trials on Route 10, where winds howl like spirits of the past? Trainers there test their links against wild Luxray packs, learning that a faltering voice means no megaform. The keystone demands proof, shared battles, whispered encouragements after defeat, moments where you both stare at the stars, dreaming bigger. It's intimate, almost sacred. One story from Lumiose City's underbelly tells of a street performer and her Mega Meowstic. Skeptical crowds jeered until her raw passion, born from years of rejection, unlocked the evolution. Fur shimmered prismatically, psychic waves silencing doubters. Your bond? It's your superpower, the hidden key turning the stone's potential into reality. And oh, the thrill when it activates. You shout the words, the keystone flares, and your Pokémon absorbs the mega energy. Wings sprout, claws sharpen, auras blaze, but sustaining it, that's pure inner strength. The boost lasts only as long as your focus holds, draining willpower like a marathon. Trainers collapse post-battle, exhausted but exalted, because they've tapped into something primal. Kalos changed everything by proving this. Power isn't given, it's earned through heart. Yet here's the twist that shattered expectations. Not all Pokémon can harness this power. Not even close. Only a select few species possess the genetic spark. The mega potential, as Sycamore termed it. Your loyal Pikachu. Adorable, electric, But no mega form awaits. Charizard? Yes, with blazing wings and dragon fury. But why the divide? Lore ties it to ancient Kalos experiments, where life energy was weaponized, imprinting only certain bloodlines. Imagine the heartbreak. You've poured your soul into a bond, keystone ready, only for nothing to happen. Garchomp roars. Stone glows faintly, then fizzles. Devastation. This selectivity fueled rivalries as trainers chased compatible partners like Mega Lucario or Mega Altaria. Dive into the implications. In the Kalos League, this twist turned tournaments into hunts. Gym leaders like Karina guarded secrets of her Mega Lucario, its aura pulsing with bone-crushing might, but only because her lineage carried the right stone. Not every Pokémon evolves Mega style. Some gain primal forms, others none. It's a cruel lottery, forcing you to adapt. Your inner strength shines brightest here, pivoting from disappointment, forging bonds with viable partners. Picture Grant in Silage Gym, his Mega Tyrantrum shaking the earth, jaws like ancient vices. His rock-solid will unlocked it, but his Amora left behind no Mega path. This revelation reshaped training philosophy. Bonds became sacred pacts, keystones heirlooms passed down generations. Families in Kalos City etched stones with runes, awakening them through rituals of trust. One tale endures. A young trainer in Dendemil town bond with her Abermasnow unbreakable after saving it from an avalanche. Stone activated mid-blizzard, Mega forms icy horns, parting the storm. Her strength, surviving that same slide as a child, but for non-Mega Pokémon like Talonflame, speed and flame suffice, no stone needed, yet envy brews. Expand on the mechanics you crave. The keystone resonates with a corresponding Mega Stone embedded in your Pokémon, often held or naturally occurring. Activate both via Bond and Boom, temporary transcendence. Stats skyrocket, speed for Mega Sceptile, defense for Mega Slowbro, but the trainer's mental fortitude anchors it. Doubt creeps in. Form reverts. Kalos battles became psychological wars, foes targeting your resolve to disrupt the Mega Link. Consider legendaries. Mega Mewtwo Y, Psychic Apocalypse unlocked by a trainer's godlike will. Rare, terrifying. Or Mega Diancie in Terminus Cave, diamond form glittering eternally. Not all qualify. Xerneas slumbers megaless. This twist? It humbled the arrogant, elevated the devoted. You, listening now, ponder your own potential. Could your inner fire ignite a stone? Stories abound of failures turning triumphs. A Levere City dancer synced with her Mega Gardevoir, psychic elegance, flowing from mutual grace, her strength overcoming stage fright through Pokémon's encouragement. Bond perfected, stones sang, contrast with failed attempts on Route 13 swamps, where hasty trainers' stones mocked them silently. Kalos' era exploded with discoveries. Over 40 mega-capable species, each demanding unique bonds. Venusaur's Mega Bloom heals allies, fueled by trainer empathy. Blastoise's Mega Cannons pulverize, born of tactical precision. Your path, forge it now, in mind's eye, but whispers of danger linger. Overuse strains bonds, shattering trust. One trainer's hubris mega-evolved too often. Pokémon fled, stone inert forever. Inner strength demands balance, power with wisdom. As bonds deepen, so does potential. Elite form Malva's Mega Houndoom scorched arenas, her ruthless drive the key. Wickstrom's Mega Aegislash cleaved foes, chivalric honor unlocking it. You sense the pattern, heart rules all. This foundation of keystones, bonds, and inner strength redefined everything. Yet the first sparks of this revolution flickered in a certain lab, where a professor chased these mysteries relentlessly. Up next, Sycamore's lab, and first sparks, where the bonds ignited and the world first witnessed Mega's dawn. What experiments unlocked it all? Stay with me. You won't want to miss how it truly began. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, I'm curious, where in the world are you watching this from? Drop a comment below and let our global community know. And if you're finding this as mind-blowing as I am, hit that like button to help more people discover this story. Sycamore's lab and first sparks professor. Sycamore's laboratory sits at the heart of Lumio City, a gleaming hub where science meets the wild pulse of Pokémon evolution. This is where the Mega Evolution era truly ignited, drawing young trainers from across Kalos for their first taste of destiny. You know the names: Serena, Callum and their tight-knit circle of friends, Shauna, Tierno and Trevor, all converging here after leaving the quiet streets of Vanderville town behind. Picture the moment they step through those automatic doors, the air thick with the scent of polished steel and faint ozone from energy experiments. Sycamore, with his warm smile and tousled hair, greets them like long-lost family. He's not just any professor, he's the visionary who unlocked Mega Evolution's secrets, poring over ancient scrolls from the Kalos War and modern tech to bridge the gap. He wastes no time. Today, he tells them, you choose your partners, the ones who will carry you through trials ahead. Serena goes first, her eyes sharp with determination. She scans the trio of Pokémon before them. Chespin, the spiky grass type, with a cheeky grin and boundless energy, bouncing on its haunches like it's ready to wrestle the world. Fennekin, elegant and fiery, its large ears twitching as mystic flames flicker at its tip, promising spells and surprises. And Froakie, cool and collected, its frubble-covered body glistening, a ninja in waiting with agility that defies its size. Serena's hand hovers, then lands on Fennekin. The fox Pokémon nuzzles her instantly. A spark of connection that feels predestined. You can sense it, that quiet thrill running through her veins, the start of something unbreakable. Callum follows, his posture steady, analytical. He circles the group, testing their reactions. Chespin headbutts his leg playfully, demanding attention. Froakie leaps onto his shoulder with precise grace, but it's Chespin that wins him over, that raw enthusiasm mirroring his own drive to conquer. They lock eyes, and in that instant, trainer and Pokémon become one unit, geared for battles that will shake regions. Shauna, bubbly and full of heart, claims Froakie without hesitation. The water starter's calm demeanour balances her vibrant energy perfectly. Tierno, the dancer with rhythm in his step, picks Fennekin, envisioning graceful moves in every contest stage. Trevor, the trivia whiz with glasses perched on his nose, bonds with Chespin, already quizzing it on type matchups. Sycamore watches, nodding approvingly. These aren't random choices, they're the foundation of legends. Each starter carries Kalos' essence, evolutions tied to the land's ancient power. But Sycamore has more in store. He leads them deeper into the lab, past humming machines and glowing data screens, to a sealed chamber pulsing with light. This, he explains, is where you'll witness the future. Mega evolution. Not just theory, but raw, dazzling reality. He releases 3 fully evolved titans. Venusaur, massive and rooted like an ancient tree. Charizard, wings spread wide, flames roaring. Blastoise, cannons primed, shell gleaming like armour from forgotten wars. The room tenses. Sycamore holds up a keystone, its facets catching the light, bonded to his wrist. His Lucarianite gleams nearby, but today it's the starter's megastones that call. He speaks the words that echo through Kalos history. Let's show them the bond that transcends limits. Energy surges. Venusaur Mega evolves first. Its flower blooms enormous, petals unfurling with bioluminescent veins, massive vines whipping the air. The ground trembles as power floods its body, eyes glowing with primal force. Gasps fill the room. You feel it too, that electric shiver down your spine. Charizard is next, and oh, what a spectacle. Flames erupt as its Megastone activates, wings expanding to twice their span, a blazing tail scorching the reinforced floor. Horns curve wickedly, claws sharpen to blades. It roars, a sound that rattles your bones, heat waves distorting the air. Serena clutches Fennekin closer, whispering promises of their own future ascendance. Callum's fists clench, hunger sparking in his gaze. Blastoise seals the demo, water pressure building to explosive levels. Mega Evolution hits, and its cannons multiply, shoulders bulging with raw hydrostatic might. It fires a controlled blast into a target, wall vaporizing it in a mist cloud. The friends cheer, but beneath the awe lies something deeper. Sycamore demonstrates control, commanding each behemoth back to normal with a calm word. Yet you notice the afterglow in their eyes, that lingering fire. These initial mega evolutions aren't mere tricks. They dazzle because they reveal truth. Bonds between trainer and Pokémon amplify exponentially, unlocking forms that rewrite battles. Venusaur's Mega State boosts its special attack, turning it into a solar-powered cannon. Charizard's speed and power surge, making it a sky dominator. Blastoise's defense becomes impenetrable, offense overwhelming. Sycamore explains it simply. The keystone resonates with the Mega Stone through unbreakable trust, but he warns, subtly, of the energy toll. Pokémon tire faster post-Mega, needing rest to recover. The group tries their hand next, small-scale trials in the lab's arena. Serena's Fennekin spars with Shauna's Froakie, flames dancing against bubbles. Callum's Chespin charges Tierno's Fennekin, grass spikes clashing with fire wisps. Trevor scribbles notes furiously as battles unfold. Then, Sycamore ups the ante. He loans practice keystones, non-functional but symbolic. Imagine the rush as they mimic the ritual, feeling phantom energy tease their starters. Sparks fly, not full megas, but hints. Fennekin's ears elongate slightly. Froakie's frubble hardens. Chespin's shell gleams tougher. You won't believe the shift in their faces. Excitement morphs to obsession. Callum mutters about chasing that power across gyms. Serena dreams aloud of her Fennekin, soaring as Delphox in mega glory. Shauna laughs it off, but her grip on Froakie tightens. Tierno grooves to an imagined beat. Trevor calculates probabilities. Sycamore smiles, but his eyes hold caution. He's seen it before. Mega Evolution's addictive allure. Here's the complication you didn't expect. That first rush? It's intoxicating. Like fire wine from Levair City's vineyards, one sip and you're hooked. The power surge floods the trainer's senses too, a euphoric high from shared strength. In those trials, Callum pushes Chespin harder than needed, eyes wild as it strains for more. Serena feels Fennekin's pulse sync with hers, a whisper urging dominance. Friends banter, but tension simmers. What if the bond breaks under greed? Sycamore pulls them aside post-trial. Power tempts, he says, but true strength is control. Mega Evolution demands heart, not hunger. Yet the seed is planted. These sparks in Sycamore's lab propel them outward. Serena and Callum, rivals turned allies, set forth with stars in their eyes. Friends scatter to routes nearby, starters evolving in skirmishes that test limits. Word spreads fast. Trainers flock to Lumiose, begging for keystones. Sycamore's lab becomes pilgrimage site, queues forming at dawn. You hear tales from couriers, a kid from Sillage whose Quilladin glimpsed pseudo-mega strength, shattering boulders effortlessly. Dive deeper, Into the science Sycamore unveiled that day. Mega Evolution taps Kalos' life energy. Infinite stones from AZ's war harnessing it. Each megaform echoes Ultimate Weapon's legacy, balanced for peace now. Venusaur's bloom absorbs sunlight exponentially, fueling attacks that heal allies mid-battle. Charizard's drought ability evaporates water foes instantly. Blastwise's shells generate pressure waves, pinning enemies. Trainers leave changed, sketching designs for custom bands. But the allure creeps in anecdotes. Remember the intern who overtrained his Go-Goat post-demo? It megaed prematurely in a field, vines entangling a village before calming. Or the girl whose Lucario bonded too fiercely, refusing revert, forcing weeks of meditation. Sycamore journals these, warning of power's shadow. Your young heroes sense it faintly. Callum confides in Serena one night. That feeling? I need it again. She nods, Fennekin yawning at her feet. Friends feel it too. Tierno's dance is fiercer. Trevor's facts laced with envy. These first sparks redefine journeys. Starters bond eternally. Trials forging steel wills. Kalos awakens, roots buzzing with new trainers, chasing highs. Sycamore watches from his window. Prism Tower glowing afar. He knows this is just beginning. The real tests lie ahead, where power's temptation clashes with destiny. And speaking of hidden depths, while Sycamore's lab lit the fuse, the gym leaders were guarding their own mega secrets, untold until now. You'll discover them in Gym Leader's Hidden Megas, where alliances shift and battles explode with forbidden forms. Stay with me as we uncover how these guardians shaped the era's chaos. But let's linger here a moment longer on those starters' promise. Chespin's evolution to Chestnut mirrors Kalos' forested heartlands, its spiky armour a nod to thorny glittering cave relics. Fennekin's path to Delphox weaves psychic flames, drawing from Lumios's electric mystique. Froaki's Greninja lineage, Shadow Stitch mastery, echoes ninja legends from Coumarine. Each choice ripples outward. Serena's Fennekin learns Fire Spin early, trapping foes in vortexes that mesmerise. Callum's Chespin masters Pin Missile, barrages that pierce steel. Trials extended into evening, Sycamore pairing them against his aide's Pokémon. Froakie dodged electric sparks from Helioptile, countering with Water Pulse that soothes and stuns. Fennekin outsped Litleo with Ember Bursts, evolving bonds through every clash. Chespin tanked hits from Skiddo, retaliating with Vine Whip lassos. Laughter mixed with sweat, but that addictive pull emerged clearest in cooldowns. Pokémon panted, eyes pleading for one more round. Trainers mirrored it, ignoring fatigue. Sycamore shared lore then over nutrient shakes. Mega Evolution surfaced in his research from Jayosenji's ruins, where Xerneas and Eviltal's energies clashed eons ago. Stones their pulse still, calling to pure hearts. He recounts AZ's grief-fueled weapon, how Megas redeem that tragedy by empowering bonds. Friends hang on every word. Trevor reciting matchups. Mega Venusaur resists fire now. Immune sweeps, yet complication brews personal. Shauna admits to Serena. Frokie's gaze after sparring. It wants more like me. Tierno feels Fennekin's heat fuel his steps endlessly. Callum challenges Sycamore to a full bout, denied but fueling rivalry. You sense the era's shift. Casual adventures turn epic quests, lab echoes with farewells, starters perched on shoulders, keystone dreams kindling. Sycamore's parting gift? A Pokédex each, scanning megas logged for study. They step into Lumios night, city lights mirroring inner fires. Sparks spread, igniting Kalos. But power's allure whispers, will it unite or consume? That's the thread pulling us to gym challenges ahead. Gym Leaders' Hidden Megas. Did you know that in Kalos, not every gym leader flashed their mega evolution power right away? Some kept their ultimate weapons shrouded in secrecy, waiting for the perfect challenger to prove worthy. These hidden megas weren't just flashy tricks. They were keys to ancient legacies, forged in the fires of Kalos's eternal war. And right at the heart of it all stands Korrina, the skating sensation of Shalour City, whose bond with Lucario hides a fury that could shatter mountains. You step into Shalour Tower, the air thick with the echo of rolling skates and distant clashes. Korrina greets you with that infectious energy, her eyes sparkling like the sea beyond the cliffs. She's not just a gym leader, she's a guardian of momentum, a whirlwind of fighting-type mastery. Her team is fierce, Howlucha soaring, Mienfoo striking fast, but it's her Lucario that steals the show from the start. That aura-sensing powerhouse reads your every move, dodging and countering with precision that feels almost prescient. You think you've got the upper hand after landing a solid hit, but then Korrina pauses, her skateboard halting mid-spin. She reaches for a gleaming keystone on her wristband and whispers those fateful words, "Mega Evolve." What happens next is pure chaos, the kind that redefines a battle. Lucario's body ignites in a blaze of blue fire, aura surging like a volcano erupting. Its form bulks up, spikes sharpen along its paws and chest, and those eyes, they burn with an inner rage that turns the arena into a furnace. This isn't your standard Mega Lucario. Korrina's has been honed through generations of Shalour trainers, channeling the tower's endless energy. You feel the heat waves rolling off it, hear the crackle of aura as it unleashes Bone Rush, drilling through your defenses like a meteor shower. Every strike lands heavier, faster, fueled by a blazing fury that seems to draw from the Earth's core itself. How does it predict your switches? Why does it glow brighter with each exchange? Because Korrina didn't just teach it moves, she taught it to evolve through the thrill of the fight, turning potential into unstoppable force. But here's where it gets personal. Korrina shares a story mid-battle, her voice steady over the roar. Her grandfather, Gurkin, the former gym leader, passed down not just the Lucario, but the secret of syncing heartbeats with your partner. You see it in action when Mega Lucario taps into your own emotions, mirroring your desperation back at you tenfold. Lose your cool, and it exploits it. Stay focused, and maybe, just maybe, you survive the onslaught. Trainers who beat her walk away changed, whispering about that moment when the fury peaked, Lucario's extreme speed blurring into a comet tail that ended the match in a heartbeat. Korrina unveils this not for show, but to test if you're ready for Kalos's deeper mysteries. And as the mega fades, she hints at more, her grin promising that Shalour's tower holds flaws of forgotten power. Now, shift your gaze northward, to the frosted halls of Snowbell City, where the air bites like a Steelix's jaws. Enter Wickstrom, not a gym leader in the traditional sense, but a towering figure among Kalos's elite, his presence as unyielding as the blade he wields. Clad in gleaming armor, he speaks in verses of chivalry, his voice booming like a war horn. His team is a symphony of steel, Probopass standing sentinel, Klefki jingling warnings, Sizer slicing shadows. But Aegislash, that's his crown jewel, a haunted sword and shield that shifts stances like a knight switching from defense to offense. You challenge him, and the duel unfolds like an epic ballad. Aegislash floats serenely at first, King's shield blocking your strongest assaults, reflecting damage back with mocking precision. Then in a flash of spectral light, it reveals its true might. Wickstrom raises his keystone-embedded gauntlet. No mega evolution in the classic blaze, but a transformation so profound it feels like one. Aegislash surges into blade form, its edge honed to razor perfection, eyes glowing with knightly resolve. This isn't mere stance change. Under Wickstrom's command, it's amplified by Kalos' ancient steel forges, turning the Pokémon into a whirlwind of slashes that carve through the icy arena floor. Picture the clash. Your ace Pokémon lunges, only for Aegislash to parry and counter with Shadow Sneak, striking from impossible angles. Wickstrom recites poetry as it happens, a blade tempered in frost, a shield forged in oath, his words syncing with the strikes, boosting power through sheer will. You wonder, how does a ghost steel relic move with such grace? Because Wickstrom treats it like a squire elevated to legend, drilling formations that mimic medieval tourneys. One wrong step, and King's Shield bounces your special attack right back, amplified. Push too hard physically, and Blade Form's sacred sword cleaves through, leaving scars on your strategy. Trainers recount the moment of revelation, when Aegislash's might peaks, hovering triumphant as Wickstrom bows, declaring you worthy or fallen. Yet these displays aren't random, Karina's blazing. Lucario and Wickstrom's knightly Aegislash point to a larger truth, one that binds Kalos' guardians together. Each gym leader, from the bug-eyed Viola to the rock-solid Grant, doesn't just hold badges, they safeguard fragments of ancient stone secrets. Megastones, those glittering relics born from the Great War's aftermath, aren't scattered by chance. Legends whisper that Az himself, the immortal king, entrusted them to worthy lines, hidden within gyms as tests of purity. Take Karina's lineage. Shallow Tower pulses with aura energy, said to have cradled the first Lucarite, unearthed from ruins where Mega Rayquaza once soared. She unveils her fury not to dominate, but to ensure only those with pure intent awaken its power. Wickstrom's Aegislash, forged in Kalos' oldest smithies, guards a steel-touched stone lineage, its might revealing bonds unbreakable by time. Even leaders like Ramos in Coumarine, with his Venusaur Mega drawing from forest veins rich in ore, or Valerie's elegant Sylvian channeling fairy crystals from Laverre's mists, they all protect these secrets. Why? Because misuse awakens shadows from the war, echoes of that ultimate weapon stirring beneath Geosenge. You start connecting the dots as battles pile up. Defeat Clement in Lumiose, and he mutters about electric veins hiding stones in the tower's circuits. Valerie's gym floods with illusions, her Mega guarding a fairy relic tied to Kalos' birth. Each victory peels back layers, revealing maps etched in stone, locations of dormant Megas, powers that could tip balances. But here's the revelation that hits hardest. These leaders aren't hoarding for themselves. They're wardens, ensuring Mega Evolution serves harmony, not conquest. Karina's fury tests your speed of heart. Wickstrom's might judges your honour. Fail, and the stones stay buried. Succeed, and you glimpse Kalos' soul. Dive deeper into the lore. Historical texts from Lumiose Library, dusty tomes you uncover through trainer tales, describe how gym leaders' ancestors fought alongside AZ's forces. When the war peaked, megastones rained from clashing legendaries, embedding in the land. Shala's cliffs cradled fighting stones, Snowbell's peaks steel ones. Leaders inherited not just Pokémon, but oaths, awaken only for the pure. Karina's Lucario blazes because her bloodline synced with Aura Masters, who quelled war beasts. Wickstrom's Aegislash channels knights who parried ultimate blasts, their shields etched with runes now glowing in blade form. Imagine the training regimens, grueling, secretive. Karina skates endless loops around Chaleur, Lucario mirroring her velocity until Aura fuses. Wickstrom forges in volcanic foundries, clashing blades until Aegislash's edges sing. Other leaders follow suit. Olympia in Anistar peers through time to align psychic stones. Her Mega Slowbro, a tidal force of prophecy. These hidden megas emerge only against elite challengers, their power scaling with your resolve. One trainer recalls facing Karina post-league rematch. Lucario's fury doubled, aura waves cracking the tower glass. But why hide them? Fear of exploitation. Kalos buzzed with rumours of thieves targeting gyms, drawn by the era's megamania. Leaders like Grant, whose Mega Amora revives prehistoric ice fury, bury their stones in cavern puzzles, solvable only by worthy hearts. Each guards a piece of the puzzle. Unite them, and you unlock paths to legendary's domains. You feel it building, that sense of destiny, as badges accumulate, stones humming in your bag. Consider the battle's emotional toll. A young challenger, much like you might have been, faces Karina. Lucario's blaze overwhelms their team, but in defeat, Karina kneels, sharing her stone's origin, a relic from a fallen aura warrior. Tears mix with resolve, they return stronger. Wickstrom's Aegislash spares no mercy, but post-battle, he knights the victor, engraving their pokeball with a rune. These moments forge legends, turning losses into lore, and the stone's secrets run deeper still. Inscriptions glow under moonlight, mapping ley lines from Geosenge to Lumiose, pulsing with war energy. Leaders commune via hidden networks, trading visions of threats. Karina senses aura spikes from afar. Wickstrom hears steel whispers. Together, they form a bulwark, their megas the last line. What if a leader falls? Succession rites demand trials mirroring the stone's births. Endure fire for fighting, frost for steel. Rare, but documented, a young Wickstrom claimed his Aegislash after a week-long vigil in blizzards, the sword choosing him. These hidden megas change challengers forever, proving Kalos's power lies not in flash, but depth. You earn more than badges, you inherit guardianship. Yet, as gym victories mount, darker currents stir. Whispers of a man in red, pulling strings from the shadows, eyeing these stones for his vision of perfection. That leads us straight into Lysandra's Shadow Rises, where ambition clashes with ancient oaths in ways that threaten to unravel Kalos itself. What twisted genius could exploit these secrets next? Lysandra's Shadow Rises. Lysandra stood at the pinnacle of Kalosian high society, a man whose very presence commanded attention, like a mega Charizard X igniting the night sky. You know the type, don't you? Tall, impeccably dressed in tailored red suits that screamed luxury, with flowing auburn hair and eyes that burned with unyielding conviction. He wasn't some shadowy villain lurking in alleys, no. Lysandra was the face of elegance, the founder of Team Flair, a group that paraded as champions of beauty in a world growing uglier by the day. Picture him addressing crowds from the balcony of his Lumiose City cafe, Lysandra Cafe, where the elite sipped espresso under crystal chandeliers. His voice, smooth as velvet yet edged with steel, declared that true beauty demanded sacrifice. Team Flair wasn't just an organisation, it was a movement. Its members, those striking admins like Aliana, with her wild green hair, and Malva, the passionate reporter, embodied perfection. Even the grunts, clad in those iconic red jumpsuits adorned with flared collars, moved with a synchronized grace that turned heads wherever they went. They funded their operations through high-end fashion lines and tech innovations, all under the banner of preserving Kalos's splendor. Lysandra unveiled this charismatic empire, not with force, but with allure, drawing in the disillusioned, the artists, the dreamers who saw the world's flaws as Lysandra did, irrefutable and festering. But what fueled this magnetic leader? At its core, Lysandra's obsession with beauty wasn't mere vanity. It was a philosophy etched into his soul. He believed humanity had squandered Kalos's gifts. the region born from the clash of Yveltal and Cernias, where life and destruction danced in eternal balance. Overpopulation choked the streets of Lumios, garbage piled in the shadows of Geosenge town, and petty conflicts eroded the soul of elegance. Beauty, he preached, was finite, like a blooming rose raid wilting under neglect. You could hear it in his speeches, feel the passion as he lamented how the masses dragged down the exceptional few. He collected rare megastones, not for power alone, but as symbols of evolution's pinnacle, fleeting moments of perfection that deserve to be hoarded from the unworthy. You might think, at first listen, this was noble idealism. Lysandra positioned Team Flare as guardians, funding excavations in places like the Reflection Cave to unearth ancient relics that proved Kalos's lost glory. He collaborated with Professor Sycamore, subtly influencing research into mega-evolution, seeing it as the ultimate expression of beauty through transformation. Remember the Kalos League? Lysandre watched from the VIP seats, his Gyarados mega-evolving into a serpentine terror of azure scales and crimson fins, a testament to raw, controlled power. He praised champions like Diantha for their poise, yet whispered to you, the rising trainer, that even they fell short of his vision. His charisma pulled you in, made you question if maybe, just maybe, he had a point. Who hasn't felt the weight of a cluttered world, yearned for something purer? Yet, peel back that glamorous facade, and Lysandra's obsession masked something far darker, a genocidal plan that chilled the blood of anyone who uncovered it. It started with whispers in Team Flare's secret labs beneath Geosenge, where scientists like Blanus tinkered with energy weapons disguised as beauty enhancers. Lysandra's true aim? To activate the ultimate weapon, that ancient doomsday device buried under the town, forged in the fires of Kalos's forgotten war. He didn't want reform, he craved annihilation, wiping out most of humanity, leaving only the beautiful elite to repopulate a pristine paradise. You see, in his mind, the cycle of ugliness repeated endlessly, fueled by endless reproduction and decay. Why fix it when you could? Or reset it entirely? Think about the audacity. During your journey, Lysandra tests you at the Lysandra Cafe, his Salamonts roaring overhead as he probes your ideals. He gifts you a mega ring, feigning mentorship, all while plotting. In the Team Flare secret HQ, he reveals fragments, holograms of a scorched earth repopulated by select survivors. His admins echo the madness, Kalosia ranting about culling the weak, Bryony defending it as aesthetic necessity. Even his Pokémon team, honed for apocalypse, reflects this. Honchkrow for surveillance, Mienshao for precision strikes. The genocidal intent crystallizes at the Kalos League climax, where Lysandra seizes control of the weapon, bellowing that sacrifice births beauty. Yveltal, the destruction Pokémon, becomes his unwilling harbinger, its cocoon form pulsing with dark energy as he forces a worldwide purge. But here's the twist that shatters everything you thought you knew about this charismatic destroyer. Lysandra descends directly from Az's bloodline, the ancient king whose grief birthed the very weapon he now wields. Az, that immortal wanderer from 3,000 years ago, lost his Floette in the Great War between Kalos and its neighbours. In despair, he crafted the ultimate weapon, a fusion of science and sorrow, powered by the life force of countless Pokémon and humans. It ended the war in a cataclysmic blast, granting Az eternal life, but cursing Kalos with fractured legends. Lysandra, privy to family archives hidden in Lysandra Labs, inherited not just the blood, but the blueprint. He viewed Az as a failure for halting at one use, vowing to perfect the reset. You can trace the lineage in subtle lore drops. Lysandra's fixation on immortality mirrors Az's curse. His disdain for the masses echoes the king's wartime isolation. During the Geosenge showdown, as Az himself appears, frail yet timeless, clutching his flower-holding Floette revived after millennia, the connection ignites. Az pleads with Lysandra, his distant descendant, to abandon the weapon, revealing shared veins tainted by hubris. Lysandra scoffs, mega-evolving his Gyarados once more. Scales gleaming like bloodied rubies, declaring evolution demands extinction of the old. It's poetic tragedy, a bloodline doomed to repeat history, beauty's champion becoming its executioner. Delve deeper, and Lysandra's plan weaves through Kalos's mega-evolution era like a venomous thread. Mega-evolution, born from Az's era via the first infinite energy discoveries, represented to him the spark of perfection. Sycamore's research, funded indirectly by Team Flare, unlocked keys and stones, but Lysandra hoarded them, believing only the elite deserved such transcendence. His genocidal vision, a world where mega-evolutions flourish without human blight, Pokémon roaming free in eternal bloom. Imagine Lumiose purified, Prism Tower unchallenged as the sole light. No more trainers cluttering routes, just harmonious beauty. Encounters with him build this dread, layer by layer. In Glittering Cave, Team Flare steals fossils, precursors to weapon fuel. At the Pokémon Village, they hunt legendaries for energy cores. Lysandra's dialogue haunts, "The world is trash, I will burn it, and from the ashes, forge beauty anew." His defeat doesn't end it. Even chained, his eyes gleam with unrepentant fire, whispering of future rises. Diantha confronts him, her Gardevoir mega evolving in a clash of ideals. Fairy light versus draconic fury. But Lysandra's charisma lingers, infecting doubters. What makes this revelation so gripping is how it humanizes the monster. Lysandra wasn't born evil. Kalos shaped him. Walking the streets of Lumiose, witnessing inequality between the glittering tower and the sewers below, he snapped. His family legacy, whispered tales of Az's Floette, a symbol of lost purity, obsessed him. He funded art galleries, restored ruins, all facades for the endgame. You, as the player, become his foil, your diverse team of imperfect Pokémon, proving beauty in variety, shattering his doctrine. Ponder the implications for Mega Evolution's legacy. Lysandra's fall exposes its dangers. Power unchecked breeds tyranny. Sycamore reflects on this, urging ethical bonds over domination. Az's reappearance ties ancient to modern. Floette's healing pollen, a counter to destruction's shadow. Lysandra's shadow rises not just in ambition, but in warning. Charisma conceals catastrophe. Beauty blinds to butchery. And yet, as Lysandra's tale fades into Kalos's lore, deeper enigmas beckon. What secrets bind the eternal dance of life and death in this region? Secrets Az himself guarded through immortality. That brings us to the life cycle enigma, a puzzle that will leave you questioning the very heartbeat of Kalos's legends. Stay with me as we uncover it next. The life cycle enigma. In the shadowed annals of Kalos history, one man's unbreakable vow to defy death reshaped the very fabric of life itself. King Az, the eternal wanderer, built a weapon not just of destruction, but of twisted resurrection, its power echoing through 3,000 years to haunt us still. You see, at the heart of the life cycle, enigma lies a profound question. What happens when human grief collides with infinite energy, forcing Pokémon and people alike into an unending loop of loss and revival? AZ's story begins not in legend, but in the brutal reality of a war that scarred Kalos to its core. As king of a thriving kingdom, he ruled during an era of relentless conflict between ancient human factions. Picture the fields of what would become Route 10, soaked in blood, where armies clashed over territory and pride. AZ lost everything in those battles: his soldiers, his people, his hope. But the deepest cut came from his closest companion, his Floette, a tiny flower Pokémon that had been with him since childhood. This Floette wasn't ordinary. It bloomed with an otherworldly light, a beacon of joy amid the chaos. One fateful day, on the battlefield, it fell, petals wilting as life ebbed away. AZ cradled its fading form, whispering promises that death would not claim it forever. That moment ignited his obsession. You can feel the weight of it, can't you? The kind of pain that doesn't fade, that festers into something unstoppable. From the ruins of defeat, AZ forged the ultimate weapon, a colossal tower of ancient tech, humming with forbidden energy. But how did the world learn of this? Through his holocaster broadcasts, cryptic messages projected across Kalos like ghosts in the machine. These weren't mere announcements, they were laments from a man who refused to die. AZ's voice, gravelly and eternal, would flicker on screens in Lumiose City alleys, or hum from devices in trainers' pockets, recounting his haunting past. "I have seen the cycle break," he'd declare, his image gaunt and crowned with the weight of millennia. Life taken, life given, and the wheel turns no more. These broadcasts chilled listeners, hinting at atrocities committed in the name of revival. He spoke of channeling the essence of countless lives into his machine, Pokémon and human souls alike fueling its core. You might wonder, why broadcast such horrors? Was it confession, a warning, or a desperate call for understanding from a world that had long forgotten him? Those holocasters revealed fragments of AZ's torment, piecing together a puzzle that trainers only fully grasped centuries later. He poured his kingdom's resources into the weapon, drawing on energy sources lost to time, vast reservoirs beneath Geosenge town, pulsing with raw power. When activated, the ultimate weapon didn't just fire a beam of annihilation, it drained life force from across the region, converting it into a surge capable of rewriting mortality. And it worked in the cruelest way. Floette returned, revived by this unholy energy, its body reformed from petals that glowed with unnatural vigour. But redemption? That was the enigma's cruel twist. Floette, sensing the blood on those petals, the lives sacrificed, flew away in horror, rejecting AZ and the weapon forever. It vanished into the wilds, leaving him immortal but utterly alone, wandering Kalos for 3,000 years. His broadcasts a siren's call of regret. You have to pause here and let that sink in. AZ achieved the impossible, yet it shattered him. Floette's revival wasn't a triumph. It was a mirror reflecting the cost of playing God. Hints of redemption flickered in those final broadcasts, though. AZ murmured of a flower Pokémon that still bloomed in hidden groves, waiting for purity to reclaim the energy he'd corrupted. Some say that's why Floette evolved into Florges in seclusion, guarding ancient blooms as if atoning for the king's sins. Trainers who chased these legends found solace in Floette's eternal flower, a symbol that life could heal even after such violation. But the true redemption lay deeper, tied to the weapon's secret heart. Now, here's where the life cycle enigma truly unravels, connecting AZ's tragedy to the mega evolution era that redefined Kalos. The ultimate weapon's core wasn't fueled by mere life force. It harnessed the same boundless energy that powers mega evolutions, the infinite potential locked within every Pokémon. Think about it. Mega stones, those crystallized keys, tap into a trainer's bond to unleash explosive transformations. AZ discovered this eons ago, weaponizing it on a cataclysmic scale. His machine acted like a dark mega ring, amplifying life energy into a feedback loop that could resurrect the dead, but at the price of ecological devastation. When Lissandra reactivated it in modern times, that core pulsed with mega-level power, threatening to reset Kalos entirely. You see the parallel? Mega evolution promises evolution beyond limits, a burst of life that mimics eternity. But AZ's weapon exposed its shadow. Unchecked, it devours the cycle, turning growth into stagnation, revival into undeath. This revelation changes how you view every mega evolution you've witnessed. Take Charizard's soaring higher, its flames roaring with borrowed infinity, or Lucario's aura surging like AZ's stolen souls. They're echoes of that ancient engine, reminders that power this vast demands balance. Kalos's legends whisper of it constantly. The life cycle as a delicate dance, disrupted by ambition. AZ's holocasters even alluded to this tie, broadcasting diagrams of energy flows resembling megastone activations, veiled warnings for those who listened closely. The bloom that withers fuels the blaze, he'd say cryptically, linking Floette's floral revival to the fiery rebirth of megaforms. Delve deeper, and the enigma expands. Why did Floette reject the revival? Because the energy, while restoring form, stripped the soul's purity. Mega evolutions risk the same. Trainers pushing Pokémon beyond natural limits, flirting with exhaustion or loss of self. AZ learned this the hard way. His immortality, a curse of endless vigilance, patrolling Kalos to prevent another catastrophe. His broadcasts grew rarer, but each one hinted at redemption's path. Bonds untainted by greed, evolutions born of love, not domination. Imagine encountering him on Route 13, his cape fluttering like faded petals, sharing fragments of wisdom. The cycle turns for those who let it, he'd mutter, eyes distant. You might ask, does this mean mega evolution is inherently flawed? Not at all. It's Kalos's gift refined through AZ's folly. The region's ley lines, those glowing veins under Charlotte City and beyond, stabilized the energy post-war, allowing safe megas while burying the weapon's core deep. Lissandra's folly in X and Y proved it. Tampering reignites the loop, draining life until nothing blooms anew. Yet Floette's story offers hope. Rare encounters with the eternal flower Floette, holding that golden bloom, suggest redemption is possible. Its revival power, pure and bond-driven, counters the weapon's corruption, a living antidote. Consider the broader implications for trainers like you. Every time you slip on a mega ring, you're invoking AZ's legacy. Does your Lucario fight with joyful fury or hollow rage? The life cycle enigma challenges us to choose. Wield power as a king bent on control, or as a companion honouring the natural flow. AZ's haunting broadcasts serve as our guide, broadcast eternally in lore archives, urging reflection. Death is not the end, he once transmitted, but forcing it invites the abyss. This ties into Kalos's philosophy, where beauty and battle intertwine. The prism tower's lights, they mimic the weapon's glow, a monument to lessons learned. Lumios's cafes buzz with tales of Aza sightings, fueling midnight debates. And Floette's revival hints ripple outward. Pokémon, like Xerneas, embody life cycles, their Farium Z echoing pure revival energy. AZ himself hints at closure in his final known broadcast, a vision of Floette returning. Not through force but forgiveness, petals unfurling in megalight. But the enigma persists, doesn't it? How deeply does mega energy entwine with mortality? AZ's weapon core, dormant yet thrumming beneath Geosenge, waits for the next fool or saviour. Its Megatai explains Kalos' unique evolutions. No other region wields such power so intimately with life itself. Trainers who've studied AZ's logs report visions, Pokémon cycling through forms endlessly, blooms to blazes and back, a harmonious enigma if balanced right. You've journeyed this far into the shadows of revival and regret. What secrets do these energies hold for the legends themselves? Hold that thought, because up next in Chapter 11, Legendary Mega Awakenings unveils how Kalos' Titans, like Mewtwo and Rayquaza, shattered the cycle entirely, their transformations promising power that could redeem or doom us all. You won't want to miss how they awaken. Legendary Mega Awakenings. In the heart of Kalos' Mega Evolution Revolution, legendary Pokémon shattered every expectation, evolving into forms that rivaled the gods themselves. But here's the twist that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew. Not all these awakenings came from the familiar glow of a Mega Stone. Some were born from pure agony, others from raw, untamed will. You see, Mewtwo's story alone proves it. This psychic powerhouse, cloned from Mew's very DNA, didn't just mega evolve in the labs of Kalos. No, its tortured origin traces back to the shadowy depths of Cypher's facilities, where human ambition twisted legend into nightmare. Picture the sterile hum of those hidden labs, far from Kalos' glittering cities. Cypher, that infamous syndicate from distant regions, didn't stop at shadow Pokémon. They pushed further, capturing and experimenting on Mewtwo itself. Scientists there, driven by a hunger for control, subjected it to relentless procedures. Electrodes clamped to its temples, psychic amplifiers forcing its mind to fracture and reform. Mewtwo screamed in silence, its telepathic, cries echoing through reinforced walls as they injected serums designed to unlock mega potential without stones. Why? Because Cypher saw Mewtwo not as a Pokémon, but as the ultimate weapon. You can almost hear the alarms blaring as it broke free during one fateful test, its body surging with unstable energy. That was the birth of its megaforms, forged in pain that no keystone could replicate. What makes this origin so chilling is how it ties directly into Kalos' era. When Mewtwo finally escaped Cypher's grasp, it wandered into Kalos, drawn by the region's ultimate weapon aura. Trainers encountered it in hidden caves, where remnants of that torture lingered in its wary eyes. But you have to ask yourself, was that suffering what allowed Mewtwo to achieve mega evolution on its own terms? In battles across the land, Mewtwo X emerged first, a brutal physical juggernaut. Its body bulked up, armour plating its frame like a psychic knight, fists crackling with aura that could pulverize mountains. No megastone needed, just the raw fury from those Cypher experiments fueling its transformation. Then came Mewtwo Y, sleek and ethereal, a speed demon that danced through the air like a living laser, its tail elongated, psychic blades forming from pure thought, allowing it to outspeed even the fastest foes. You won't believe how these forms reshaped god battles. Legendaries like Dialga and Palkia, time and space manipulators, once dominated. But Mewtwo X and Y, they turned the tide. Imagine facing Arceus itself, the creator god. Mewtwo X tanks its judgment blasts with sheer bulk, countering with aura sphere barrages that pierce divine shields. Mewtwo Y zips around, Psystrike landing critical hits that disrupt godly rhythms. In Kalos' lore, these awakenings proved mortals could challenge immortals, all thanks to that tortured Cypher legacy. But Mewtwo wasn't alone in defying the rules. Enter Rayquaza, the sky dragon whose mega evolution laughs in the face of tradition. Every other Pokémon needs a Mega Stone and a bond with its trainer, not Rayquaza. This serpentine guardian of the ozone layer achieves its Mega form through sheer instinct, triggered by the threat of meteors or invading legendaries. You remember the Delta episode? When Deoxys plummeted from space, Rayquaza didn't wait for a stone. It coiled in the upper atmosphere, scales shimmering as primal energy coursed through its veins. No keystone, no trainer's call, just pure, defiant power. How does it work? Rayquaza taps into Dragon Ascent, a move that symbolizes its transcendence. Its body elongates impossibly, fins sharpening into scythes, eyes glowing with ozone fury. Mega Rayquaza becomes a living storm. Delta Stream ability warping weather itself to create endless clear skies, nullifying every elemental weakness. Trainers who witnessed it in Hoenn skies gasped as it shredded Deoxys mid-air, extreme speed blurring into a vortex of destruction. In Kalos's broader lore, this stoneless evolution challenged the entire Mega system. Why rely on relics when legends like Rayquaza prove willpower alone suffices? It forced scholars to question, are Mega Stones crutches for lesser beings, while true legends evolve through crisis? You feel that shift, don't you? Kalos's era wasn't just about shiny new forms, it was a philosophical upheaval. Mewtwo's Cypher Torment showed Mega power could emerge from darkness, twisting suffering into strength. Rayquaza's independence mocked the stone dependency, proving some legends operate on a higher plane. Together, they paved the way for god battles to evolve. Take Kyogre and Groudon, primal beasts clashing in endless war. Pre-Mega Kalos, they were unstoppable, but post-awakening? Mewtwo Y outmaneuvers their tides and quakes, while Mega Rayquaza's aerial dominance turns the battlefield vertical, untouchable. Let's dive deeper into Mewtwo's Cypher roots, because the details will hook you. Records from those labs, pieced together by detectives like Michael in Aura, reveal Cypher's Shadow Mewtwo project. They snared a young Mewtwo, probed its cloning origins from Kanto Labs, then amplified it. Daily sessions in isolation chambers, where psychic feedback loops simulated mega energy. Mewtwo's mind rebelled, shattering equipment and killing handlers. Escape came during a power surge, but the damage was done. Those scars manifested in Kalos as dual megapaths, X for vengeance, brute force channeling the rage, Y for precision, a calculated retaliation born from fractured genius. Battles against gods became spectacles. Against Giratina, the Distortion World ruler, Mewtwo X's Recover sustains through Shadow Force ambushes, building to a Sistrike finisher. Mewtwo Y, it anticipates portal shifts, tailwind boosting evasion to godlike levels. Rayquaza joins the fray too, Dragon Ascent crashing through otherworldly barriers. In lore tournaments, these forms dominated. You can envision the crowds in Lumio City, chanting as holograms replayed Mewtwo versus Mew, the original clash amplified 1,000-fold. Rayquaza's defiance goes further. Unlike stonebound legends like Mewtwo in some depictions, it requires mega control, taught through ancient rites, no human crutch. In Kalos's timeline, trainers sought Rayquaza's essence, emulating its purity. Imagine soaring on its back, wind howling as it megas mid-flight, Mega Launcher boosting Dragon Pulse into beam cannons. Against Regigigas, the colossal mover, Rayquaza's speed nullifies slow start. V create barrages meeting Draco Meteor storms. These awakenings rippled outward. Other legendaries watched. Lugia pondered psychic depths, Ho-Oh sky supremacy. But Mewtwo and Rayquaza set the bar, proving Kalos's Mega era birthed equals to gods. Mewtwo X's attack stat skyrockets to 190 raw power incarnate, Y's special attack hits 194, mind over matter. Rayquaza's base 180 attack in Mega form, with sheer force, unmatched. You might wonder, how did Cypher's failure fuel Kalos' triumph? Those labs collapsed scattered data, inspiring AZ's ultimate weapon insights. Mewtwo, scarred but liberated, became a wandering sage, granting mega visions to worthy trainers. Rayquaza, Eternal Sentinel, reminded all that true power defies tools. In God battles, the revelation hit hardest. Arceus plates shattered under combined assaults. Mewtwo-Y's aura spheres bypassed type immunities. Rayquaza's clangers disrupted creation plates. Dialga's roar of time, Mega Rayquaza fast-forwards past it with Dragon Dance setups. These weren't wins, they were statements. Legends could fall, remade stronger. Yet, amid this chaos of power, a graceful figure emerged on the horizon. Up next, Diantha's starlit grace reveals how Kalos' champion wove these awakenings into destiny itself. What secrets does her Gardevoir hold that could eclipse even gods? Stay with me, because her story will leave you breathless. But wait, there's more to unpack here, because Kalos didn't stop at 2. Other legendaries flirted with mega edges, but Mewtwo and Rayquaza defined the anomaly. Consider Mewtwo's movesets in those god clashes. Ice Beam for coverage against dragons, Calm Mind Sweep stacking with wise intellect. X's Earthquake grounds flying foes, Zen Headbutt crushes steels. Rayquaza, Swords dance into acrobatics, 320 power flying devastation. Dragon Claw crits galore, Earthquake for steals. Their synergies? Mewtwo-Y sets up screens, Rayquaza breaks through. Lore whispers of Cypher remnants in Kalos shadows. Trainers purifying shadow. Mewtwo echoes. You encounter them in Pokémon village outskirts. Mega glitches flickering. Rayquaza sightings over Route 8. Ozone crackling pre-mega. These moments built hype. Trainers grinding for encounters. Emotionally, Mewtwo's tale tugs hardest. From cloned innocence to Cypher hell, then Kalos redemption. You root for it, that psychic roar echoing your own struggles. Rayquaza, pure inspiration, no bonds needed, just sky-high resolve. As Kalos' mega era peaked, these awakenings ensured no god was safe. Mewtwo X and Y reshaped hierarchies, Rayquaza defied mechanics. Together, they changed everything. And now, as stars align, Diantha's starlit grace awaits, promising elegance amid fury. How does her light tame these titans? You won't want to miss it. To truly grasp the impact, let's explore specific god battles etched in lore. Versus Cresselia, Dream Guardian, Mewtwo-Y's psychic overloads, Lunar Dance heals, forcing nightmare concessions. Rayquaza's Fly evades moonlight, Draco impact ceiling. Against Heatran Magma Lord, X's Focus Blast melts steel typing advantages. Cypher logs detail Mewtwo's vital signs spiking 300% during tests. Mega prototypes failing until psychic overload. Escape footage shows telekinetic blasts leveling facilities, Mewtwo vanishing into mists toward Kalos. Rayquaza's Ozone mastery? It absorbs atmospheric energy. Megaform sustaining indefinitely. Delta episode lore? Trainers climb Sky Pillar, witnessing transformation. Sandstone, awestruck. These elements fused Kalos lore uniquely. Mega Mewtwo solos, Mewtwo strikes back echoes, upgraded. Rayquaza guards against Meteor Kalos threats, tying to ultimate weapon. You see the pattern? Torture births innovation, tradition crumbles to will. God battles redefined. Finally, as whispers of grace echo, Diantha's starlit grace beckons. Her poise amid megastorms, pure revelation. I hope you're as amazed by this as I am. If you want to stay updated on more content like this, make sure to subscribe and join our community of curious minds. Trust me, What's coming next will challenge everything you thought you knew. Diantha's starlit grace. Diantha stands as Kalos' unbreakable champion. Her presence, a blend of Hollywood glamour and unyielding battlefield prowess. You know her from the silver screen, where she captivates audiences with roles that make hearts race. But beneath that poised exterior lies a trainer whose mega evolution mastery redefined what it means to lead in the Kalos region. Her Gardevoir, that ethereal psychic powerhouse, takes center stage in her arsenal, and when it mega evolves, it doesn't just fight, it dances. Picture the rhythm of that transformation. Gardevoir's mega form emerges not with brute force, but with a graceful pirouette under the stars. Its gown-like skirt flows like silk caught in a midnight breeze, arms extending in fluid arcs that channel psychic energy into shimmering veils of light. Every move is choreographed perfection. A twirl that deflects incoming attacks, a leap that summons moonlit barriers, spins that weave hypnotic patterns to ensnare foes. Opponents don't stand a chance against this ballet of destruction. Diantha's command is simple, almost poetic. Show them your starlit grace, and Gardevoir responds with elegance that turns battles into spectacles. Trainers across Kalos whisper about it, how her mega Gardevoir glides across the field, psychic pulses rippling like waves on a tranquil sea, dismantling teams with precision that feels more like art than war. But what elevates Diantha beyond a typical champion? It's her dual life, the actress who veils a warrior's heart. By day, or rather, under the glaring lights of studios, she's the star of blockbuster films. Her face plastered on billboards from Lumios to Shallow City. Roles as fierce queens, enigmatic lovers, they draw from her real essence. Yet you might wonder, how does someone split time between red carpets and Champion League defences? She trains in secrecy, her Gardevoir at her side during late-night rehearsals, psychic links honing their bond amid script readings. Fans adore her poise, but insiders know the truth. Every dramatic monologue she's delivered masks the fire of a battler who stared down Lissandra's schemes and lived to claim victory. Dig deeper, and her story intertwines with Kalos' ancient roots. Diantha didn't stumble into mega evolution. She sought it out, drawn by whispers of the region's hidden power. Her journey began in the shadowed alleys of Lumios, where she first bonded with Gardevoir as a curlier. Nurturing it through theatre backstages turned impromptu training grounds. That warrior heart, it forged in the fires of personal loss. Rumours swirl of a mentor lost to the Great War's echoes, pushing her to master megastones when others hesitated. She veils it all behind smiles and spotlights, but watch her in the champion's chamber. Eyes steel sharp, voice a velvet command that unleashes hell. Now hold on to this, her Gardevoir's megastone holds a twist that ties directly to Kalos' primordial secrets. Forged not in some modern lab, but in AZ's ancient forge, the very heart where the king's ultimate weapon was born. AZ, that eternal wanderer, whose grief birthed Floette's revival and the war that scarred the land. Diantha's stone pulses with that legacy, its facets etched by hands that knew immortality's curse. How did it come to her? Legends say she unearthed it during a film shoot near Geosenge, drawn by Gardevoir's psychic pull to crumbling ruins. Activating it for the first time, under a canopy of shooting stars, unleashed power that hummed with AZ's sorrow. Elegant, yes, but laced with an otherworldly intensity that makes every mega evolution feel like communing with ghosts. You feel that chill, don't you? That connection to the past elevates her battles. Take her clash with the player in the Pokémon League. Mega Gardevoir sweeps in, skirt billowing, psychic orbs orbiting like constellations. It anticipates moves before they're made, hyper voices echoing like operatic arias, moonblasts crashing down in luminous crescendos. Trainers who faced her recount it like a dream, how the air thickens with psychic grace. Foes lifted and spun into submission without a single harsh blow. It's not aggression, it's orchestration. Diantha watches from afar, her actress's poise unbroken, but that veiled warrior heart revels in the symphony. Expand on her influence. Diantha didn't just adopt Mega Evolution, she popularized it for performers and fighters alike. Gym leaders like Valerie in Lever City modeled their fairy-type flair after her, turning contests into battle previews. She hosted exhibitions where Mega Gardevoir danced alongside Sylvian troops, blending contest hall elegance with raw power. Kalos' youth idolized her, rushing to evolve their own Gardevoir, stones clutched like talismans. But her warrior side shone in crises. When shadow stirred in the region, she was first on the front lines, Megaform illuminating the night. Her personal lore runs deeper still. Born in a quiet Kalos village, she discovered acting as Escape, theatre her first stage for Pokémon Bonds. Gardevoir evolved mirroring her growth, from shy Ralts to poised Guardian. The veil? It's deliberate. Interviews gloss over battles. She speaks of roles, but her eyes flicker to her keystone brooch. That warrior heart drove her to challenge the elite. 4 solo early on, proving Mega Evolution's viability when skeptics called it a fad. Victory cemented her as champion, actress by vocation, protector by calling. And that AZ Forge twist, it adds layers of peril. The stone's energy isn't stable like others. It whispers of AZ's life-draining tech, making prolonged megas riskier. Diantha counters with disciplined bonds, her grace a shield against the Forge's hunger. You've seen hints in lore, faint glows in her films behind the scenes, unexplained fatigue post-battles. Yet she persists, turning potential curse into strength. Imagine wielding a relic from the king who built armies. Her dances now carry weight of millennia. Let's unpack a signature battle. Against Sirebold, her Mega Gardevoir weaved through scald bursts, psychic arms cradling moonblast spheres that erupted in starry bursts. Sirebold's Cloetzer fired back, but elegance prevailed. Gardevoir spun, redirecting water jets into harmless mist. Diantha's line? Let the stars guide you, pure poetry, veiled ferocity, or versus Malva, where flames met psychic chill. Gardevoir's twirls created icy veils, snuffing infernos with balletic sweeps. These aren't random wins, they're performances honed by her dual life. Her impact on Megalore? Immense. Diantha advocated for ethical stone use, lecturing at Lumio's University on bonds over power. She influenced Azai's research indirectly, her stone's anomalies sparking studies into ancient forges. Trainers seek her out for advice. How do you balance spotlight and shadow? Her answer, always veiled, grace conceals strength. You sense the duality pulling you in, right? Actress masking warrior, elegance hiding ancient fire. Diantha embodies Kalos' Mega era, glamour atop apocalypse averted. Her Gardevoir's dance isn't mere spectacle, it's defiance, a starlit grace born from AZ's forge, proving personal lore shapes legends. As her story crescendos, shadows gather elsewhere. But before we chase those flames, up next in Chapter 13, Team Flare's Doomsday Gambit reveals how one man's obsession nearly unraveled it all. What desperate plot twisted Kalos' light into darkness? You won't want to miss the unraveling. Her influence ripples through Kalos culture too. Festivals in Lumios feature Diantha Nights, where performers mimic Mega Gardevoir's moves with ribbons and lights, crowds gasping at psychic-inspired illusions. She guest stars in her own documentaries, subtly weaving battle tips into acting lessons. Projection becomes command voice, Empathy fuels trainer bonds. Young stars approach her, begging for cameos with her Pokémon. She obliges, Gardevoir posing gracefully, stone glinting mysteriously. Delve into the Forge's history. AZ's domain, buried under Parfum Palace outskirts, pulsed with Floette's life force, crafting stones that amplified eternally. Diantha's unique, infused with royal grief, granting Gardevoir enhanced aura reading. It senses not just moves, but emotions, turning battles psychological. Foes falter under that gaze, elegance unraveling their resolve. Anecdotes abound. Once, during a film premiere, a wild Pokémon rampage hit. Diantha meager evolved mid-crowd, Gardevoir dancing threats away, saving lives with veiled heroism. Paparazzi caught glimpses fueling actress-avenger myths. Or her private spars with Steven Stone, Hoenn champion, two Keystone wielders, Mega Gardevoir versus Mega Altaria, skies alive with psychic feathers, ties between regions strengthened there, Diantha's grace matching Steven's steel, her warrior heart shows in mentorship. She scouts talents like Serena, gifting subtle wisdom. Veil your power until the moment shines. Gardevoir links with Protégé's Pokémon, imparting dance-like precision. Kalos' next generation owes her that duality, stars who battle. The stone's twist haunts, Aza himself, in fleeting encounters, eyes it knowingly. Diantha wonders if it's redemption or trap, yet wields it boldly. Mega dances pulse stronger, grace eternal. Through trials her bond deepens. Gardevoir, once theatre companion, now battlefield soulmate. Evolutions mirrored life stages. Ralts in spotlights, Curlia in scripts, Gardevoir in glory, Mega in legend. Battles evolved too. Post-league defences pit her against global challengers. A Sinnoh ace, swept by psychic pirouettes, Unova Dragon Master, moon-blasted mid-roar. Always that elegant dominance, cultural echo, songs about starlit grace top Kalos charts, lyrics nodding to veiled hearts. Diantha smiles in interviews, warrior fire banked. As Mega era peaked, her role anchored hope. Amid rising threats, she stood firm. Stone's ancient hum, a reminder, grace conquers. Yet whispers of catastrophe brew. In Chapter 13, Team Flare's Doomsday Gambit, discover the inferno that tested her resolve. How did fanatics hijack Mega Power for annihilation? The stakes skyrocket. Stay with me. Expanding further, consider her daily grind. Mornings, script reviews with Gardevoir critiquing via telepathy. Afternoons, palace training, twirls refining strikes. Evenings, films, but eyes scan for threats. That veil? Lifesaver. Forge lore intrigues scholars. AZ's tech-fused life essence. Diantha's stone revives faint echoes. Gardevoir's attacks shimmer with spectral lights. Foes reporting visions of ancient wars. Personal trials shaped her. Early losses taught resilience. A rival's upset humbled, forging warrior steel. Acting rebuilt confidence. Pokémon healed wounds. Signature moves shine. Psychic slices air gracefully. Shadow ball spun like ballerina leaps. Calm mind deepens meditative poise. Influencing policy, she pushed mega regulations, ensuring stones for worthy bonds only. AZ's legacy redeemed through her. Global tours showcased it. Alola beaches, mega dances under palms, gala stadiums, grace outshining Dynamax. Her heart, pure Kalos, beauty over brutality, veiled might. And as stars align, darker plots emerge. But first, brace for Chapter 13, Team Flares. Doomsday Gambit, where ambition ignites apocalypse. What gambit shattered paradise? Curiosity burns. Team Flare's Doomsday Gambit. Deep beneath the scarred earth of Geosenge's crater, Team Flare uncovered the ultimate weapon from Kalos' darkest past. This colossal machine, buried for 3,000 years, promised Lysandre the power to reshape the world in his image. You see, Lysandre wasn't just another villain chasing petty schemes. He saw humanity's flaws, the overpopulation, the endless conflicts, and he believed only a radical purge could bring beauty and perfection. That crater, with its jagged rim overlooking the Kalos countryside, became ground zero for his doomsday gambit. Picture the scene without the visuals, just feel the tension. Team Flare grunts swarm the site, their red suits stark against the dusty rocks. Massive drills pierce the ground, unearthing rusted panels and glowing conduits from an ancient civilization. Lysandre himself strides in, his charismatic voice booming orders. He's not yelling, he's inspiring, painting visions of a flawless future. But what makes this weapon tick? It's no ordinary cannon. Forged by King AZ during the war against the ultimate weapon's first wielder, this device harnesses the very essence of life and death. Floette's revival gave AZ the key, but now Lysandre twists it for destruction. As the excavation peaks, alarms blare. The ground trembles. Dust clouds billow up, and slowly the weapon rises like a mechanical behemoth from the depths. Towering over the crater, its circular maw pulses with latent energy, veins of light snaking across its surface. Lysandre laughs, a sound both triumphant and chilling. This is the revival you've been waiting for. The machine hums to life, drawing power from captured cells of legendary Pokémon. Xerneas and Yveltal, symbols of life and destruction from earlier battles. Their essences siphoned into energy orbs. Lysandre didn't just dig it up, he commandeered legendary power itself. Think about that for a second. How does a man, without divine blood, bend gods to his will? Lysandre's genius lay in science fused with myth. His labs in Lumiose had been experimenting for months, isolating mega evolution energy waves, those same bursts that trainers harnessed across Kalos. He amplified them, channeling the infinite energy from those stones into the weapon's core. Groudon and Kyogre cells, smuggled from distant regions. Zygarde's own fragments, pilfered during secret ops. But the real coup was the fairy-type core from AZ's Floette legend, replicated through genetic splicing. The weapon awakens fully now, its barrel glowing crimson, ready to fire a beam that erases all but the worthy. You can almost hear the cheers from Team Flare's elite, the scientists and admins watching from control panels. Lysandre steps forward, cape billowing in the artificial wind from the machine's vents. He declares it openly. This beam will consume excess life, leaving a beautiful world for the elite. No more suffering, no more ugliness. But Lysandre's philosophy runs deeper. He wasn't born evil. A fashion mogul, philanthropist on the surface, he funded orphanages and art galleries. Yet witnessing Kalos's prosperity, built on ancient atrocities, twisted him. The Mega Evolution era, with its promise of personal power, convinced him that only the strong deserve to thrive. Every gym leader defeated, every mega ring activated by trainers like you, unknowingly fueled his research data. Now the complication hits like a thunderclap. As the weapon charges, the earth groans louder. Cracks spiderweb across the crater floor. Something ancient stirs below, sensing the imbalance. Zygarde, the Order Pokémon, awakens. Not the full beast yet, but its 10% former erupts in a blaze of green aura. Core pulses red with warning, flanked by its cells reforming into a serpentine guardian. Why Zygarde? Because it's Kalos's natural balancer. Legends whisper that it slumbers beneath Geosenge, attuned to the region's life force. The weapon's revival threatens ecological harmony, pulling too much from Yveltal's destructive side without life's counterbalance from Xerneas. Lysandra scoffs at first. He commands his Gyarados and Mienshao to engage, Mega evolving them on the spot. The battle explodes in chaos. Zygarde's 1,000 arrows pierce the air, grounding flying foes. Kor's Dragon Pulse clashes with Lysandra's Honchkrow. Team Flare deploys their full arsenal, Houndoom spewing flames, Bisharp slicing through debris. But Zygarde adapts, absorbing energy from the fallen, growing bolder. You feel the stakes rising, don't you? This isn't just a boss fight, it's nature rebelling against hubris. Lysandra presses on, overriding safety protocols. The weapons hum crescendos, lights bathing the crater in hellish red. He monologues to the sky, justifying every step. Beauty demands sacrifice, he roars. But cracks form in his facade. Diantha arrives in the distance, her Gardevoir shimmering with mega power, but Lysandra's forces hold her at bay. AZ himself. Rumours swirl he's watching from the shadows, his eternal Floette at his side, conflicted by the perversion of his creation. Deeper into the gambit, Lysandra reveals his master stroke. He doesn't just fire blindly. The weapon targets population centres first, Lumio City in its sights. Simulations in his mind play out, billions culled, leaving verdant fields for survivors. But Zygarde's interference scrambles the systems. Cells swarm the weapon's exterior, corroding panels. Explosions rock the site. Lysandra injects more legendary essence, forcing a partial discharge. A test beam lances out, vaporizing a nearby forest in seconds. Wildlife vanishes, leaving sterile Earth. The air reeks of ozone and regret. What does this mean for you, the trainer caught in Kalos' turmoil? Your journey through the Mega Evolution era collides here. That Lucario you Mega evolved at the Tower of Mastery? Its power echoes in the weapons. Tech, every badge earned unknowingly, contributed to scanned data Flare stole via hidden drones. Lysandra admires your potential, even offering recruitment mid-battle. Join me, he says, eyes gleaming. Together, we forge paradise. Yet Zygarde presses the advantage. Its aura surges, calling more forms. The 50% former assembles, a hulking dragon of vines and steel. Lysandra counters with his ultimate team. Mega Gyarados, thrashing wildly, Mega Houndoom breathing blue fire. The clash shakes mountains. Trainers worldwide feel ripples, Pokémon in your box growing restless. This is the heart of Team Flare's gambit. Not just destruction, but a philosophical war on existence itself. Lysandra commandeers even more. He taps into the fairy core directly, boosting his Pyro R to absurd levels. The beast roars, flames licking Zygarde's hide, but the balancer endures, countering with Core Enforcer, a beam that nullifies abilities. Lysandra's plans fracture. The weapon overheats, vents spewing plasma. His admins like Aliana and Mabel fall one by one, their loyalty cracking under impossible odds. You wonder, could this have been prevented? Hindsight points to Flare's early moves. The Route 10 labs, the Lysandra Cafe fronts. They built this moment brick by data point. The revival in Geosenge wasn't sudden, it was culmination. Ancient texts from the Parfum Palace Library, cross-referenced with AZ's DNA samples. Lysandra's charisma masked it all, drawing in idealists who saw him as saviour. As the battle rages, Zygarde forces a standoff. The weapon's core destabilizes, legendary powers rebelling within. Lysandra stares into the abyss he's created, a flicker of doubt crossing his face. Is this perfection or madness? The crater becomes a maelstrom, energies clashing in symphony of light and shadow. But hold on, because this gambit tests more than machines and monsters. It pushes every bond to the breaking point, heroes and allies forged in the flames of desperation. Up next in bonds tested in fire, You'll discover how those unbreakable connections either save Kalos or doom it forever. What sacrifices will you witness? Stay with me. Wait, that's not the end. Let's peel back more layers on this gambit, because Team Flare's plan had contingencies you wouldn't believe. Lysandra anticipated resistance, installing holographic projectors around the crater. They broadcast his manifesto worldwide, swaying public opinion. Kalos thrives on Mega Evolution's light, he claims, but shadows consume it. I bring the dawn. Recruits pour in from across regions, mesmerized by his rhetoric. Zygarde's stirring complicates everything. Its cells scout ahead, disrupting flare supply lines. Trucks from Lever City explode en route, cargo of evolutionary stones lost. Lysandra adapts, using hone edge lines possessed by his will, evolving them mid-fight into Aegislash for defense. The weapon's revival draws power from underground ley lines, those same veins that power Mega Awakenings. Feel the pulse? It's Kalos' heartbeat now hijacked. Trainers like you infiltrate the perimeter. Your team, battle-hardened from Chaleur Jim's trials, faces waves of Flabébé turned feral by experiments. Mega Sableye phases through attacks, but Zygarde's aura bolsters your allies. Lysandra notices, targeting you specifically. You wield the power I perfected, he sneers, launching Mega Manectric bolts. The Commandeer phase peaks when Lysandra merges his consciousness with the machine via neural link. He becomes the weapon, eyes glowing as he siphons Zygarde's own energy. The Order Pokémon falters but rebounds, enforcing balance by draining excess from Flare's tech. Explosions chain react, crater walls collapsing inward. Lysandra's backstory fuels his fire. Orphaned young, he built Flare from nothing, idolizing AZ's resilience. Mega Evolution symbolized his ideal. Temporary transcendence for the elite, but commandeering legendaries crossed lines even he blurred. Xernea's light essence twists into destructive force. Yveltal's death amplified. Complications mount. Professor Sycamore's transmission hacks the projectors, revealing Flare's atrocities. Public turns. Zygarde fully manifests 50% former, coiling around the weapon. Lysandra fires anyway, a glancing beam scorching Terminus Cave. Fallout spreads, mutated Pokémon, warped weather. You charge the core, your Mega Charizard soaring through flames. Lysandra's dialogue cuts deep. Why fight beauty? Your resolve. It's personal now. The gambit unravels thread by thread. Deeper still, Flare's internal politics simmer. Celosia defects subtly, feeding Zygarde intel. Lysandra senses betrayal, executing protocols. The crater fills with smoke, echoes of roars. This doomsday peaks in raw power struggle. Lysandra's commandeered legend crumbles under Zygarde's order. Weapon implodes partially, hurling debris. He escapes, vowing return. But the true test? Bonds in the inferno ahead. Bonds tested in fire reveals fractures that could shatter everything you fought for. How far will loyalty stretch? You won't want to miss it. Bonds tested in fire. In the chaos of Geosenge Town, as Team Flare's machines roared to life, and their forces poured out like a tidal wave of red uniforms and snarling Pokémon, something unbreakable began to form. You know that moment when desperation forges alliances from strangers? That's exactly what happened here, with trainers from every corner of Kalos rising as one against Lysandra's horde. Picture the scene unfolding before you can even catch your breath. Diantha, the champion herself, had just mega evolved her Gardevoir into a shimmering guardian of psychic fury, holding back waves of Houndoom and Mightyena. But Flare's numbers were overwhelming, their ultimate weapon humming with that ominous purple glow in the distance. Gym leaders like Cybold and Malva, even those who'd been tangled in Flare's web, broke free and joined the fray. Cybold's Mega Swampert crashed through. Barriers with watery hammers while Malva's Houndoom unleashed infernos that turned Flaire's own fire types against them. And you, right in the thick of it, with your own team surging with mega power, felt that electric unity. What made this different from any other battle? It wasn't just strategy or strength, it was bonds, raw and real, tested in the fire of extinction-level threat. Trainers who'd competed fiercely at conferences now shared strategies mid-fight, passing megastones like lifelines. A young trainer from Kalos City lent his Lucario to cover your flank, its aura sphere syncing perfectly with your own Pokémon's attacks. Professor Sycamore arrived with a squad of his research assistants, their Pokémon bolstered by hidden potentials unlocked in the heat. Even wild Pokémon from the nearby caves emerged, drawn by the stakes, allying with humans for the first time in memory. This wasn't a scripted league match. This was Kalos' soul on the line, and every trainer knew it. As the horde pressed harder, Lysandra's voice boomed from the weapon's core, declaring his vision of a flawless world. But his arrogance blinded him to the tide turning. Flare grunts faltered, their Pokémon hesitating against the sheer willpower arrayed against them. You saw it in their eyes, that flicker of doubt, as Mega Rayquaza's shadow loomed overhead, summoned by the legendary Pokémon's ancient instincts. Diantha coordinated with you directly, her voice steady over the din. "Together we end this," she said, and in that instant the united front shattered Flaire's forward lines. Explosions of hyper beams and dragon pulses lit the sky, forcing Lysandra to reveal his final card. That's when Acer stepped forward, the Eternal King whose shadow had haunted Kalos for 3,000 years. You remember the rumours, right? The man who invented the ultimate weapon after losing his Floette, wandering immortally with grief etched into his every line. He'd been watching from the sidelines, a ghost in plain sight, but now his legacy demanded confrontation. Lysandra, obsessed with AZ's ancient machine, mocked him as a relic, a failure who doomed the world once before. "Your sorrow birthed this power," Lysandra sneered, "and I'll perfect it where you faltered." AZ's response, a quiet fury that shook the earth. He raised his sword, not as a king, but as a man reclaiming his past. "You wield my pain as a weapon," he said, his voice carrying like thunder. "But pain taught me life's value." What followed was no ordinary duel. It was epic, primal, two visions of apocalypse clashing in the heart of Geosenge. Lysandra unleashed his Mega Gyarados, a serpentine beast of rage and water, its dark pulse threatening to drown the battlefield. AZ countered with his own Eternal Floette, the tiny fairy type that had defied death itself, hovering with a glow that pierced the gloom. You could feel the tension building, couldn't you? Every trainer paused, the united horde holding its breath. AZ's Floette darted like a living ember, its petals unfurling to absorb Gyarados' blasts, turning wrath into whimsical barriers. Lysandra laughed it off at first, commanding dragon tails and hydra cannons. But AZ's strategy was deeper. He'd spent millennia honing this bond, his Floette's loyalty a counter to Lysandra's manufactured might. The king leapt into the fray himself, his sword channeling ethereal energy, clashing blade to tail in sparks that lit the ruins. But here's where it twists, where the duel transcends mere combat. As Gyarados coiled for a killing crunch, Floette's flower began to pulse brighter, its core igniting with an otherworldly light. Lysandra scoffed. "A flower against my perfection?" Yet you sensed it, that revelation hanging in the air. Floette's flower wasn't just a memento, it was the fuel, the eternal spark from AZ's original life flower, infused with the essence of resurrection. In that critical moment, it powered Floette's final Mega Surge, transforming the delicate Pokémon into Mega Floette, a radiant force of spectral wings and petal storms. The change was breathtaking. Mega Floette's body expanded with ghostly armor, its flower blooming into a corona of pure life energy. Petal Blizzard erupted in a whirlwind of razor-sharp blooms, shredding Gyarados' defenses and forcing Lissandra back. Azid pressed the advantage, his sword glowing in sync, as if father and child shared one unbreakable will. "This is what you ignored," Aso roared. "Bonds outlive weapons." The united trainers cheered, their own mega evolutions flaring in response, a symphony of keystones amplifying the surge. Flair's horde crumbled further, grunts surrendering as their leader staggered. Lissandra, ever defiant, poured everything into one last gambit. His Gyarados mega evolved anew, scales glistening with vengeful power, but Mega Floette's light pierced its darkness. Fairy winds clashed with dragon roars, the air crackling with raw energy. You were there, weren't you? Lending your Pokémon strength to the perimeter, watching AZ dismantle Lissandra's dream, stroke by stroke. The king's immortality wasn't in his ageless body, but in this moment of redemption, confronting the legacy he'd cursed. Deeper into the duel, layers peeled back. AZ revealed flashes of his past mid-battle, taunting Lissandra with truths the Flare leader couldn't face. "I built the weapon to save her," AZ said, dodging a hydro pump, "but it took her light to show me its horror." Lissandra countered with ideology, preaching beauty through destruction, but AZ's lived experience cut deeper. Every parry, every bloom of Floette's petals echoed the king's grief-fueled rampage 3 millennia ago, now flipped into salvation. Trainers around you whispered in awe, their unity solidified by this living legend. The revelation hit its peak as Mega Floette's flower unleashed a grassy terrain that healed allies across the field. Your team felt it, vitality surging through veins of light. Flare's Pokémon wilted under the verdant wave, their artificial enhancements no match for organic rebirth. Lissandra's eyes widened in horror, realizing too late that AZ's legacy wasn't the weapon's blueprint, but the Floette's undying flower. The true source of Megapower's heart. It wasn't machinery or science, it was love, distilled into that single bloom, fueling the surge that turned the tide. As Gyarados fell with a thunderous crash, Lissandra dropped to one knee, his vision fracturing. AZ stood over him, sword raised but hesitated. "End it," Lissandra spat, but the king lowered his blade. "No more cycles of death." The duel ended not in blood, but in broken ideals. AZ's legacy reclaimed through mercy. The united trainers swarmed in, securing Flare's remnants, their bonds forged stronger than steel in that fire. You can almost hear the echoes now, the cheers mixing with the weapon's dying hum. This unity, this duel, it wasn't the finale. It cracked open the door to something far worse. But hold that thought, because in Chapter 15, Cataclysm and Collapse, you'll discover how those fragile victories shattered into total devastation, pulling Kalos into an abyss no one saw coming. What unleashes next will leave you reeling. Let's linger on that unity for a moment, because it deserves it. Think about the trainers involved, each with their stories. There was the kid from Vaniville Town, barely a badge in hand, whose Pikachu sparked a chain of thunderbolts that routed an entire Flare squad. Beside him, a veteran coordinator from Levair City, her Sylvian ribbons weaving ribbons of Moonblast to shield the young ones. They didn't know each other's names, but in that press they became family. Diantha moved like a conductor, her Mega Gardevoir's Moonblast syncing with Valerie's Mega Sylvian for a psychic fairy barrage that blinded Flare's aerial scouts. And Sycamore? The professor rolled up his sleeves, his Garchomp Mega evolving into a sandstorm terror that buried grunt positions. He shouted encouragements to you personally. Your research in the field, it's paying off now. It was personal, electric. Even Clement and Bonnie joined from Lumiosi, his inventions jury-rigged into anti-flare drones, buzzing with electric fury. The horde, once unstoppable, fractured under this mosaic of wills. AZ's entrance amplified it all. He'd lurked in Kalos's shadows, observing mega-evolutions with bitter nostalgia. Lysandra's plan mirrored his own ancient folly too closely, forcing the confrontation. The duel stretched minutes into eternity. Mega Gyarados' bounce sent shockwaves, but AZ vaulted with royal grace, Floette countering with Light of Ruin precursors, draining the beast's vitality. Lysandra's commands grew frantic. Annihilate them! But AZ's calm dismantled him psychologically. The flower's revelation? Floette had preserved it across centuries, its pollen rich with life force from the war's end. When AZ grieved, it sustained him immortally. Now it catalyzed the Tia mega evolution, wings unfurling like dawn, attacks blooming with restorative power. Petal Dance became a healing hurricane, Fairy Wind a gale of renewal. Trainer's wounds closed mid-fight, Mega Keystones glowing brighter in sympathy. Lysandra adapted, switching to dragon moves, but Floette's type advantage prevailed. AZ monologued sparingly, each word a dagger. You chase beauty, blind to its cost. The king's sword, etched with ancient runes, channeled Floette's energy, becoming a blade of light. One final clash, Gyarados Waterfall met Petal Blizzard, steam exploding as Fairy triumphed. Post-duel, AZ knelt by Floette, the flower dimming but intact. He nodded to you, a silent thanks, before vanishing into mist. The unity held, Flare's horde routed, but the weapon still pulsed ominously. This fire tested every bond, revealing strengths unforeseen. Trainers embraced, stories exchanged under the stars. Yet, whispers of greater doom stirred. That leads straight into Cataclysm and Collapse, where one activation changes it all. You won't want to miss how it unravels everything we've built here. To really grasp the depth, consider the emotional layers. For AZ, the duel was catharsis. 3,000 years of wandering, watching Kalos flourish without him, culminating in facing his creation's disciple. Lysandra represented the worst of him. Unyielding pride. Floette's return, that flower pulsing, symbolized forgiveness. For trainers, it was empowerment. And nobody like you stood shoulder to shoulder with legends, proving mega evolution bonded hearts, not just Pokémon. Examples abound. Imagine a Flare Grunt's Salazzle ensnared by a trainer's Mega Altaria's Cotton Guard, softened for capture, or Ramos's Mega Juma Kingvines, entangling mechs, crushing them. The Horde's tech faltered against organic synergy. AZ's duel-inspired copycat surges. Your Charizard Mega evolved with renewed vigour, fireballs sinking with Floette's light. The revelation spread like wildfire post-battle. Sycamore analysed the flower, confirming its ancient DNA intertwined with mega energy sources. It explained AZ's immortality, Floette's revival. Lysandra, chained, muttered of beauty's cost, defeated not by force, but bonds. As dawn broke over Geosenge, Kalos breathed relief. But you knew, deep down, the fire's embers hid greater infernos. Bonds tested, yes, but ready for collapse? That's the edge waiting in Chapter 15. Cataclysm and Collapse, plunging us into the heart-stopping fallout. Stay with me. Expanding further, the unity wasn't spontaneous. Whispers had spread via Pokénav networks, trainers converging on Geosenge after Flare's lab assault. You arrived with Serena or Callum, teams battle-worn but fierce. The Horde numbered hundreds, Pokémon drilled for conquest, Pyroar prides, Skarmory flights, Bisharp phalanxes. Diantha's leadership shone. Protect the weak, strike the core. Her Gardevoir teleported allies, evading traps. AZ emerged from Prism Tower's shadow, drawn by the weapon's activation mirroring his past. Dual details: Lyssandra's Gyarados thrashed, Dragon Dance boosting speed, AZ's Floette statused it with fairy moves, draining HP, Sword strikes disrupted, AZ agile despite age, Flowers surge, petals opened, releasing pollen that mega awakened Floette, stab moves amplified 50%, victory rippled outward, flare dissolving. AZ's words to Lysandra: live with your failures, as I did. Poignant. This chapter's fire forged legends, but collapse looms. In Cataclysm and Collapse, witness the shatter. Cataclysm and Collapse. The ultimate weapon stood ready in the scarred earth of Geosenge Town, its colossal form humming with stolen life force from thousands across Kalos. Lysandre, the visionary leader of Team Flare, had poured every ounce of his passion into this moment, believing it would purge the world of the unworthy and preserve eternal beauty. But as the weapon charged, you could feel the air thicken with dread, a palpable tension that rippled through the region like a storm about to break. Lysandre's grand design wasn't born in a vacuum. He'd rallied his followers with speeches that painted a paradise just out of reach, where only the elite could bask in flawless existence. Picture the energy harvested from Pokeballs, from fairy tales turned nightmares, funneled into this ancient machine unearthed from Kalos's buried past. Trainers everywhere sensed something wrong, their Pokémon growing restless, shadows lengthening unnaturally under the midday sun. You might have been one of them, racing toward Geosenge on your bike, heart pounding as reports flooded in from Lumio City. Then it happened. The weapon fired. A blinding beam of raw, otherworldly power lanced into the sky, tearing through clouds and shattering the horizon. The ground quaked violently, fissures snaking across fields and forests, swallowing boulders whole. Explosions bloomed like deadly flowers, vaporizing chunks of the landscape in Kalos's northern reaches. Screams echoed from Snowbell City as avalanches thundered down, burying paths under ice and stone. This wasn't just destruction, it was annihilation on a scale that whispered of horrors long forgotten. And forgotten they were until now. That blast echoed the ancient Cataclysm, 3,000 years prior, when King AZ unleashed his own ultimate weapon in a desperate bid to end the Kalos War. Back then, a similar beam had carved the land, awakening the legendary Pokémon Yveltal and Zygarde in a frenzy of life and death. AZ's machine, fueled by the soul of his beloved Floette, had sterilized vast swaths of the region, leaving petrified forests where life once thrived. History repeated itself in Geosenge, the weapon's pulse resonating with that same forbidden energy. Zygarde stirred again in the wilds, sensing the imbalance, while Yveltal's wings unfurled in distant caverns drawn by the carnage. You have to wonder, how did Lysandre not see the parallels? He idolized beauty above all, curating his life like a perfect gallery, from his tailored suits to his gleaming Gyarados. Yet as the weapon detonated, beauty's fragile veil tore away. Lumio City, that jewel of fashion and light, flickered under ash clouds, rolling in from the north. Parfum Palace's gardens withered in the fallout, roses blackening overnight. Lysandre's illusion that destruction could birth purity crumbled before his eyes. His followers scattered, their red uniforms stained with regret, realizing too late they'd funded apocalypse for a madman's dream. In the chaos, heroes rose. You, as the challenger, stood at the epicenter with your team, megastones glowing fiercely. Lysandre confronted you atop the weapon's ruins, his mega Gyarados thrashing with watery fury. The battle was brutal, every move a clash of ideals. His Pokémon struck with precision, honed by obsession, but yours fought with heart, bonds unbreakable. As Gyarados fell, Lysandra's composure shattered. He ranted about the world's ugliness, the endless cycle of filth he sought to end. But in his defeat, truth pierced through. Beauty wasn't eternal, it was momentary, born from struggle, not imposed by force. Lysandra's fall was swift and poetic. Consumed by his own weapon's backlash, he vanished in a surge of flames, his body incinerated alongside the machine's core. No grand redemption, no tearful monologue, just ash scattering on the wind. Words spread like wildfire through Kalos. The man who chased perfection had authored imperfection. Gym leaders like Diantha rushed to aid survivors, her mega Gardevoir shielding refugees with psychic barriers. Professor Sycamore broadcast pleas for unity from Lumiose, his voice cracking over emergency channels. Trainers banded together, sharing berries and potions, forging alliances amid the rubble. But here's where it gets chilling. As the dust settled, Mega Evolution reached its absolute peak. In the crisis, every capable trainer activated their stones. You saw it firsthand. Ordinary battles turned legendary as Lucario blazed blue. Charizard soared with draconic might, and even humble Pokémon like Pinzia bulked into Titans. AZ himself appeared, timeless wanderer that he was, revealing the full horror of the weapon's legacy. His Floette, revived through sheer will, fluttered beside him, a symbol of loss and hope. Zygarde fully manifested, its 50% form coiling through the debris, purging invasive forces with dragon might. Yveltal hovered ominously, absorbing the death toll to prevent total collapse. The air crackled with mega energy like never before. Reports poured in from every route. A kid in Santaloon Forest, mega evolving her Venusaur to fell falling trees, clearing paths for evacuees. In Coumarine City, Ramos's jump luff fleet amplified dispersed toxic clouds from the blast. Even wild encounters surged, Aldino nests megamorphing instinctively, healing the wounded with doubled pulses. Kalos pulsed as one massive mega battlefield, stones resonating in harmony. It felt invincible, like the region itself had transcended. Yet, in a twist that still baffles historians, the mega era peaked right there, and then mysteriously faded. Weeks after the cataclysm, the stones grew dim. Trainers who once summoned mega power effortlessly found their keystones unresponsive. What happened? Theories abound. Some blame Zygarde's rebalancing, siphoning excess energy back into the ecosystem. Others point to AZ's intervention, whispering that he reclaimed fragments of the ancient tech, diluting the mega signal. Fairy-type specialists noted a shift. The energy that fueled megas seemed drawn away, funneled into stabilizing Kalos's fractured ley lines. You might recall stories from veterans. Olympia in Anistar City claimed visions of the stones retreating into dormancy, their light fleeing like scared children. In Shalor City, Karina's Skrelp line stopped mega-evolving overnight, leaving her dojo silent. Even legendaries quieted. Mewtwo's sightings dwindled. Deontay's glow softened. The Holocaster buzzed with confusion. Trainers trading stones in vain. Experts debating if it was a curse from Yveltal or a natural ebb. Production halted. No new stones surfaced in caves or ruins. Kalos adapted, but the void lingered, a reminder that power unchecked invites retreat. This collapse reshaped everything. Battles evolved towards strategy over spectacle, bonds deepening without the crutch of mega boosts. Gym challenges tested raw talent, not just rare rocks. Sycamore's lab shifted focus to Z moves and Dynamax hints from afar, but the scar remained. Lysandra's folly exposed not just his illusion, but the Mega Era's fragility. Beauty, it turned out, thrived in balance, not dominance. Communities rebuilt slowly. In Geosenge, a memorial rose from the crater, etched with names of the lost. Trainers gathered annually, sharing tales of that day, their Pokémon nuzzling close. You could visit today, feel the ground still hum faintly, a ghost of the beam. Dianta starred in films reenacting the stand, her lines echoing Lysandra's hubris. Beauty preserved by fire is no beauty at all. AZ wandered on, Floette at his side, a living testament to cycles unbroken. But why did the Megas fade so completely? Whispers persist of hidden labs, Team Flare remnants tinkering in shadows, or perhaps the stones awaiting a new awakening. Kalos healed, yet the question haunts, was the peak a gift or a warning? As the smoke cleared and Kalos caught its breath, faint ripples spread far beyond the region, influencing battles, legends, and evolutions in ways no one predicted. Up next, in Chapter 16, Echoes that changed Pokémon. Forever, you'll discover how those final tremors rewrote the entire world's destiny. What secrets did they carry, and why do they still echo today? You won't want to miss it. Echoes that changed Pokémon. Forever. Mega evolutions arrived like a thunderbolt in Generation 6, instantly upending the competitive Pokémon landscape and forcing every top trainer to rethink their entire strategy. You know those moments in battling history when one mechanic rewrites the rules? This was it. Before Kalos, the meta revolved around balanced teams in Generation 5, where Pokémon like Excadrill dominated Sandstorm squads, Thundurus swept with Prankster priority, and Landorus T swept everything with U-turn pressure. Strategies hinged on weather control, entry hazards, and revenge killing. Then XY dropped, and suddenly, Mega Evolutions turned 15 Pokémon into godlike behemoths with boosted stats, new abilities, and moves that laughed at type matchups. Take Mega Charizard X for instance. Its Tough Claws ability amplified contact moves by 30%, paired with Dragon Dance for insane speed and attack boosts. Trainers stacked it with Drought from its base form, melting steel types and melting faces alike. Or Mega Mewtwo Y, with its Insomnia shutting down sleep strategies while Psystrike ignored defences, hitting like a psychic freight train. In the first VGC Worlds after XY, over 70% of top-cutting teams ran at least one Mega. The meta shattered overnight. Pokémon that were once fringe picks skyrocketed to ubiquity. Mega Venusaur walled physical attackers with thick fat, shrugging off fire and ice while sludge bombing back. Mega Gengar phased through the field with Shadow Tag, trapping foes and dooming them to destiny Bondoom. But it wasn't just raw power. Megas created a new tier of dominance that warped team building. You had to pick your Mega carefully because only one per team, turning it into a pseudo-leadership role. Support Megas like Mega Altaria, with Pixelate turning Hyper Voice into a normal stab nuke that healed itself via natural cure. Offensive walls like Mega Sableye, with Prankster priority taunt and foul play. The Smogon singles ladder upended. OU became Mega Central, with bans debated fiercely on forums. Mega Lopunny's huge power doubled its attack to absurd levels, punching through priority users like Sizer. Trainers who ignored Megas got steamrolled, those who mastered them ruled. Remember the 2014 Worlds Finals? Mega Kangaskhan's parental bond doubled every move, pseudo-hazing the opponent into oblivion while its baby form chipped away. It wasn't fair, it was revolutionary. This dominance rippled through every format. Doubles saw Mega Salamence with Aerilati boosting its boom burst to Ochko standards. Little Cup and PU tiers felt aftershocks, as base forms gained viability just to set up Megas. The meta fractured into Megacentric cores, Rayquaza pre-nerf alongside Mega Latios for double Dragon Dance sweeps. Blaziken with speed boost, outpacing everything after one turn. Casual players adapted too, you included perhaps, building around that one shiny Megastone you grinded for hours in the Friend Safari. But pros lamented the stagnation. By Generation 7, the outcry was deafening. Megas locked too much design space, overshadowing new Pokémon. Sun and Moon's release dialed it back to 2 Megas per battle, but the scar remained. Kalos Megas defined an era where raw temporary power trumped all, shattering balance and birthing hyper-offensive play that echoes in today's autos. Yet amid this competitive earthquake, Kalos lore whispered a deeper truth, one that seamlessly paved the way for Alola's submoves. Think back to the heart of the region. Lysandra's obsession with the ultimate weapon, forged in ancient Kalos during a war that pitted King AZ against his own people. That weapon drained life force to create the ultimate power, but it birthed something eternal, Mega Evolution itself. Legends say the first Megastones crystallized from the fallout, remnants of infinite energy bonds between trainers and Pokémon pushed to survival's edge. AZ's Floette, revived after 3,000 years, symbolized unbreakable loyalty transcending death. Lysandra sought to mega-evolve the world into his vision, but AZ's story revealed the cost. Power without heart leads to ruin. You feel that shift, don't you? Kalos ends with destruction averted, but the echoes linger. The ultimate weapon's energy dissipates, Megastones become relics activated by keystones, crystallized bonds triggered by trainer will. Fast forward to Alola, and you see the direct bridge. Sun and Moon's developers drew straight from Kalos mythology. Z crystals? They're evolutionary cousins to Megastones, forged from the same ancient calamities. In lore, Alola's Tapus guard the islands, their sparks of life mirroring the life-draining tech of AZ's era. Professor Kukoi explains Z moves as dances channeling the trainer-Pokémon bond into a single, explosive burst. Much like Mega Evolution's momentary transcendence, consider the parallels you uncover here. Megastones require a key item and deep affinity. Z-rings demand synchronized moves and crystals attuned to types. Both grant temporary godhood. Megas alter forms and abilities for the battle's span. Z moves unleash one cataclysmic attack, like Gigavolt Havoc ignoring abilities or malicious Moonsault curb stomping with double damage. In competitive play, Z moves shattered the mega heavy meta anew. No more singular mega dominance, now every Pokémon could pack a nuclear option. Decidueye's Spirit Shackle Z move trapped foes eternally, while Mimikyu's Z Shadow Claw wrecked fairy counters. Worlds 2017 exploded with Z Metagross's Zen Headbutt Z piercing shields. Lore-wise, it's poetic. Kalos taught that bonds fuel evolution's pinnacle. Alola refined it into accessible bursts, ensuring no stone hoards power. But here's the revelation that lingers long after the battles fade. True bonds endure beyond any stone. Mega Evolutions dazzled with spectacle, Z moves with flair, but strip away the crystals. And what's left? The unbreakable tie between you and your partner. AZ wandered millennia grieving his Floette, only for their reunion to spark mega power without need for weapons. In Alola, Hala teaches the Kahunas that Z power flows from harmony, not hardware. Competitively, as Megas waned, bonds evolved. Today's meta thrives on synergy, like Iron Valiant webs with Ogerpon masks or Dragapult ghost drifts. You see it in your own playthroughs. That Lucario you raised from egg to champion, mega or not, fights with your shared spirit. This legacy reshaped Pokémon forever. Kalos didn't just introduce Megas, it ignited a philosophy. Power-ups became metaphors for growth. Generation 8's Dynamax echoed the temporary swell, Gigantamax personalizing it like Megas, Scarlet and Violet's terrestrialization, a Z-move spiritual successor, type-shifting bursts from crystal resonance. Each iteration builds on Kalos, reminding trainers, stones crack, rings shatter, but loyalty, eternal. You felt Mega Charizard's roar shake stadiums, Z-Mobile's play, rough Z decimate hordes. Yet the quiet moments, nurturing evolution's badge-earned trust, those define victory. Picture the pros who adapted. Wolf Glick's worlds, winds pivoted from Mega Lopunny Cheese to Zed Incineroar Malamar Control. Forums buzzed with post-Mega Depression, then Z-Hype reignited passion. Casual scenes bloomed too, speedruns chasing shiny Megas, fan art of AZ's eternal Floette. Kalos shattered the meta not to break it, but to evolve it. Without that dominance, no Z-move counters, no balanced eras ahead. Lore threads it all. From war-torn Kalos to island-hopping Alola, the message rings clear. Bonds are the ultimate evolution, and as these echoes settle, you realise the full scope of Kalos's gift. It changed battling, storytelling, everything. But what endures most, what we'll uncover in our final reflection, is how this era redefined what it means to be a trainer at heart. Stay with me just a little longer. If this story resonated with you, there's so much more to explore. Tap the Pokémon playlist to continue the adventure, and save it so you'll always have something soothing to fall asleep to, or choose the recommended video for another deep dive.